I'd felt that one coming. I was like, I better do that now. Sorry.
Yes.
What the fuck was that? You sound like smacking things in your room.
No, I was just sitting up in my springy chair.
Oh, that's what I heard. I could hear it going. Eep, eep.
You know I'm recording all of this, right?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not recording anything of this. Well, I'm gonna start recording.
Uh-huh. Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode 32. I am Kylie Wild, your co-host, and I am joined with Pete Beckett.
Hello, we are now on the same aged episode as I am age.
Yep.
Old.
Those words made sense in that order that you said them in.
No, they didn't. You can tell I'm tired as hell.
Yes.
It's been a long
Me
week.
too. I was gonna say, how's your week been? Another week in lockdown.
Exhausting. Because the weather has gotten warmer, like it's now more of a
Oh.
struggle for me to sleep.
Oh dear, yeah. That's something that our non-UK listeners might not know. Mostly speaking to any US listeners, they don't have air conditioners over here. It's
No,
not
they
a
don't.
thing. You can get portable ones, but they're very expensive, and I've heard they don't work that well.
Yeah, my mum and dad have a really nice fan in their room, like,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't deal well with fans because of the sound. Because
Ah.
being a light sleeper, so yeah, I'm ailed with so
Oh.
many sleep problems. This is the issue.
Oh.
So
See, I'm actually the opposite of that. I have to have the sound of a fan.
okay, you're weird.
I'm told that often.
Yeah, but I suppose that's a US thing because you're more used to the whole air conditioners constantly
Oh
going
yeah,
on. I
yeah.
had that in Vegas actually, like it was always on,
Mm, yeah.
regardless of what time of the day it was.
You'd have to in Vegas. Oh
I
God.
was dying half the time because it was just so hot.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Well, so yeah, the weather here has not been warm. Well, that's not
Yeah.
entirely true, but we had a windstorm yesterday, and my new furniture that someone had got me for the back garden, as they call it here, blew over.
Lovely.
Yep. I mean, it's fine, but it was weird. It was just like, why is
Yeah.
this happening?
Mm. Well, we had really strong wind here yesterday as well. It must be like as a result of you guys having that windstorm. But
Yeah.
some washing went up on our line, and the next thing I know, the washing basket was halfway down the garden.
Yes. Yeah, that's how it is over here. It's crazy. I'll
Yeah.
tell you though, 2 years ago today, actually, I was in Scotland. I was in now I've forgotten Fort. I've forgotten. It's right there where you get on the ferry to go to the Isle of Skye
Oh,
and
nice.
Fort William. That's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh! But they were having crazy wind times.
Oh, of course they were. Because if you
Yeah,
don't have adverse weather conditions in Scotland, then
yeah.
you're not in Scotland.
Oh my gosh. And that was the crazy thing. It was beautiful. The sun was
Yeah.
just freaking stunning. Ben Nevis was in the background. It's a giant mountain,
Mm.
for those who don't know. And it was just so stunning. And then the wind tried to kill me. So,
And that was probably the first time you ever felt wind.
winds like that, very, very much. Yeah. I mean, because I grew up on the coast of Texas, so, coastal
Oh, yeah,
areas
yeah.
have wind.
Mm.
But freezing cold wind off of a mountain? No.
No, you
No,
wouldn't have
man,
felt
no.
that before.
No. That was a new experience. Oh, gosh.
mm.
Yeah.
So
But
that's crazy that that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago to the
Uh,
day. Wow.
it's strange. Yeah, Scotland has some of the weirdest weather I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Mhm.
I've been up there so many times over the years because I've my mum's friend is lives up in Scotland, She used to live
Nice.
down this way, but moved up there a long time ago. So we used to go and spend the summers up there. I'm sure I've probably told someone about this before.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've been up there and it's been raining like most of the time when
Oh
it's in
gosh, yeah.
summer is just like
Uh-huh.
ludicrous. So when I went in 2013 and I took my partner up there, it's the first time she had
Uh-huh.
ever been to Scotland. It
Mm.
was sunny the whole
Oh,
time, and it was the one
oh,
of the very few times that I'd ever seen a sunny day, let alone a whole long weekend's worth.
oh wow.
So
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
That's
and all
good.
all those years of being up in Scotland, it was the first time I'd ever had a barbecue.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I went for a week. Like I don't take vacations that are holidays. That's just not a thing I do. And I just like I don't I don't remember. I got talked into it or something. I don't remember how. I have no idea why I went. But I went for a week and it was just stunning, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Didn't even really rain or anything like that. It was
Nice,
just, oh, it was just amazing. Best trip ever. I actually stayed in what is called a glamping pod
of
at the
course.
foot of the mountain. So it was so cool.
Yeah, I'd imagine it is, but I've never understood the term glamping, to be honest. Like, what's glamorous about camping? You're supposed to
I
get
was gonna
wet and
say,
muddy, and get drunk and fall about in the mud. You know.
it was funny because oh man, I'm just like remembering. It was a glamping pod that a guy had on his property. He had three of them.
Yeah,
And they were very just your basic, one room areas, and
yeah.
they had a bathroom, a fully functional bathroom with a shower, which is why I was like, "Yep, I'll do that," and
Mm.
had electricity and Wi-Fi and all that stuff.
Oh, lucky you.
But yeah, I was very lucky. The best part of it was on his property, and he had horses. And I just went and sat at the fence just to sit at the fence because that's what I do. And they came over to me and I got to pet them and talk to them.
Nice. I'm quite surprised you didn't get your saddle and try and bring back a bit of old Texas to Scotland.
Yep. Get my cowboy hat and boots on.
Like those aggressively snakeskin leather boots.
Oh dear, dear, dear.
Whereas when I went camping, when I went to festivals, like in
Hmm.
2006 and 2007, I
Oh
didn't shower
gosh,
for
yeah.
days and it was horrible.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I've been invited to festivals and I usually back out right at the last minute because it's like,
Uh, no,
I'm brave and I'm adventurous, but I don't know.
no, you're missing out by not going to festivals. It's a unique
Oh,
experience, but Jesus Christ, do you
uh,
stink at the end of it?
yeah, I'll have to do it once. I will
Yeah.
absolutely have to do it once just to say I did it. So,
I mean, the thing was for it though is that I went to Download Festival, which is usually
uh-huh.
held in like June, and
Yeah.
in most occasions June is not always the best weather here because you always
Hmm.
get some rain or whatever. No, oh no. At both times I went, blazing hot sunshine the
Of
whole
course, of
weekend, of
course.
course. I think the first year I went was only one, I think it was like an afternoon of rain, and that was on the
Mhm.
Thursday, so no bands were even happening. We just sat in our tent all day, just getting wasted.
Oh gosh. Okay, that's kind of like the dream. So,
Well, yeah, I won't tell you about what substances were being used. That's all I'm
ah,
gonna say. No more, no more.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that that is a great segue into the news.
How is that? How is
It's
that a
not.
segue?
It's not at all. It's like not at all.
I, th- I think you need to work on your segue game.
But I only ride skateboards.
What?
I don't
What?
ride segways. Skateboards.
That was the worst. I I think you're getting worse.
I think so. I think
I
it's the
think.
paint fumes in my office.
Well, it wasn't my fault
Ah,
that you decided to paint your wall because you couldn't help but paint the wall to put your TV up just to play Final Fantasy.
it's,
It's not my
see,
fault. You can
it's
dress it up whatever way
100%.
you want on Twitter. I was not at fault. I just sent you a game. You
Yeah,
chose to paint your wall.
well, I had to paint the wall to take the TV down, to hook the PlayStation up to the TV, and put the TV back up and play Final Fantasy VII. I don't think that's a difficult line of thought.
No, it is a difficult train of thought for me because you just had to take the TV down, plug it in, put it back up. You didn't need to get a paint roller out.
No, no, I had to.
Anyway, moving on,
Makes
because we're
sense.
never going to agree on this one. I think it's one of the very few things we don't agree on.
Ah, yes.
Speaking of things we definitely agree on.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this
Def-
was... So, fair warning here.
mhm.
This is a long story and
Yes.
somewhat controversial as well.
Yes. I do think actually we should probably say if you're a little stressed or you're just tired of controversy and
You may
you
want
want
to
to skip.
skip forward.
Yeah, that's fine.
What I'll do is
We'll still be here.
I'll try and remember to put a timestamp in the description so that you can skip forward this story if you feel the need to do so. But
Yeah.
we feel it's an important story to bring up because
Yes.
it's controversial. And we love controversy, of course.
We do. We absolutely do.
Yeah, so this is not the controversial side of it. Okay, so Twitch forms the Safety and Advisory Council.
Yes.
Okay,
Now, we
so
probably should define what that is,
uh,
or will it just organically?
we can kind of do so, but I'm going to be honest with you here. I don't really know
Mhm.
what they do.
They don't know what they do, and that
Oh,
is the
good.
honest truth. Because I went looking for any way that we could define this, concrete define it, and even the people that are on the board say they don't know what they are there for.
Okay,
That is, yeah.
but that's
So,
good. At least we're not completely clueless then.
yeah, so we're all on the same page that we don't know what page we're on. So,
Yeah, bringing you up to scratch with the most latest news. Anyway, but the controversial side of this is that this courted a lot of controversy after one of the members of the advisory council and trans streamer Ferociously Steph stated on his stream that all gamers are white supremacists.
yes. Yes.
And also stated that people should be afraid of her because she now has power.
Yes. Now, I do want to reiterate, these are factual clips that can be found. You can either see them in context or just see the clips themselves.
Yeah.
If you go searching for it, it's there. It's on Twitter. It's on YouTube. It's all over the net, so you can kind of see for yourself.
But
Yes.
you don't need to search for them because I'm going to put them in the show notes.
Yes.
Because I do that for you listeners. Because that's what I do.
That's right.
I'm good like that.
Yep. We source our stuff.
Yeah, we don't like not sourcing stuff.
Nah.
I don't put
Yeah.
all the sources in the show notes because the show notes would be as long as my arm.
Right. Yep.
I don't like them being too long because people just don't read them then.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'll put them in there so you can refer back to it. So I was looking at this and I sent this to you the other day and I went, what the heck is this? What is going on at Twitch?
Yeah.
Because as youthful Twitch streamers ourselves, we're in the early stages of wanting to get back into doing all of that.
Yeah.
This has now made me think a little bit more about wanting to be on their platform.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I have no issues with a safety and advisory council because if they're advising on important issues that are important across the entirety of Twitch, so that includes the I'm going to put them not crudely, but I'll put them in a way that I've heard them being described before. That would include the booby streamers, and all that
yes,
sort of lot.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have a set of principles and circumstances that is that fits all purposes really, and
Hmm.
this safety and advisory council is not made up of just streamers. They're made up of like people like psychologists and
Right.
people who work in certain fields and all of that. So we have got a couple of streamers in there who've been around from the very early days of Twitch, but I think Ferociously Steph is one of the newest streamers on there, but
Hmm.
she's part of the trans community, and I think she was
Hmm.
included because of that reason, which I don't see any issue with. I think if you're going to have an
Oh,
advisory
right.
board and
Absolutely.
have, if you have trans streamers, then absolutely put someone
Absolutely.
on the advisory board who is
Part
there
of that.
to part of that community who can actually voice their opinion as well in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
However, she has not voiced the opinion of her community at all. She's voiced her own opinions and now pretty much gone, I have power now. Some of you white supremacists are going to be mad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I take a lot. I don't take offence by it, but I take a lot of I've got a lot of problems with the statement itself, and I'm sure you have as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So the thing that I want people to realize is that she actually says lots of gamers are white supremacists.
Mm,
Um, and that's offensive. I know offense is not taken, it's given. No, offense is not given, it's taken.
yeah,
Um, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I was offended.
no,
Um,
it's exactly what
I
I said. I just said I've got a lot of problems with this.
Yeah, not a fan of being lumped in to a group, which I found ironic. Uh,
It doesn't fall into line with how I am actually sitting politically at all.
right,
But yeah, she just
right.
wants to lump us into this one unified group and I found this a lot nowadays is a lot of people are just using this term like white supremacist, Nazi, bigot, all that sort of
Yeah,
thing. And it's exactly what we said on episode 30 in the roundtable discussion,
yes,
that a lot of them are just generalised, and it's not an argument. It's just,
right.
let's just throw shade at someone to discredit them almost immediately because people don't like these groups of people.
Hmm.
And I don't agree with that, because actually you should have a conversation with people and go, what is your political stance, or what are your views, and then you have a discussion about it, and then you can air those quote bad ones out in public, and people will know that they're terrible takes. We shouldn't
Yeah,
shut down speech at all. And to be honest with you, this is what this sounds like to me she is doing. She's trying to lump all gamers as white supremacists so that she can just shut down the speech for them. It's like, oh, if they've got a criticism of me, they're just white supremacists, so I'm not going to take it seriously.
yeah. And that irks me on a level. Okay, so I am going to bring my autism into this.
And your soapbox
Um,
too.
and my soapbox.
Good.
Autistics tend to see the world in black and white, as I've said many, many times. Um, we also have a strong sense of justice. Um, when things don't make logical sense, it angers
Yeah.
us. And I'm very angry about this because there's a lot of logical inconsistencies,
Yeah.
which we'll point out a bit more as you read her statement after the fact.
Yeah, we're going to read
But
that in a minute, actually.
yeah, um, but I'm bothered by the sweeping generalization because a lot of the people I know, especially with Rapid Reviews UK staff, they are so far from white supremacists. They're like the most open-minded, kind-hearted, everyone's accepted,
Yeah.
people, and we have people of all different races, walks, colors, creeds, all of those, wonderful things. And I feel it's disrespectful to them because it almost makes them invisible, and that's not right.
No,
Minorities are not supposed to be invisible, and that
absolutely not.
angers me. That angers me so much. Uh, because my friends that are of a different race or politically very far left, they are gamers too.
Yeah.
And she is not allowed to say that they are not.
It's gatekeeping again, isn't it?
It's gatekeeping, and it's a weird, I can't believe I'm going to use this phrase, but it's a weird reverse gatekeeping.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
You
oh,
know?
these are not the gamers that I like,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly.
And I saw another hot take like similar to this morning, not exactly the same, but I did see someone put up on Twitter that if all you play is COD and FIFA and all that
Oh,
sort of thing, you're not a gamer. And I've heard
yeah,
that quite a lot, and I don't agree
yeah.
with that statement. I've been wrong to state that in the past in many years gone by, but I don't believe that anymore because gamers are gamers, regardless of what you play, we all enjoy the craft.
I'll tell you when my view on that changed because I too was a person who was like that. If
Mm,
you play all you play is COD, well, you're not really a gamer. Because someone after Halo 3 came out, I heard someone say, oh, God, I can't remember if it was in a YouTube video or what it was, but they said, oh, yeah, the only people that play Halo 3 are jocks who get drunk and play multiplayer at, colleges and universities. And I was like, no, they're not. I play Halo 3.
does kind
I'm
of
a
sound right
gamer.
though.
Well, but that right there just like opened my eyes to gatekeeping, which it wasn't called that back then, but
No,
and I stopped going, oh, if you play FIFA and COD, you're not a real gamer. As soon
yeah,
as that happened, because I was like, I'm a real gamer. I love Halo 3.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember when it happened for me. I think it was when I had more friends who were more interested in COD and FIFA and all that, and it was just sort of like,
Yeah.
well, I can't really go into your house and go, FIFA's cack, like, why are you playing this trash? It's like,
Right.
okay, fair enough. Like it's where I think I grew up
Yeah.
a little bit more, and I just went each to their own. Everyone has their own, you know,
Yeah.
their own likes and dislikes, and why am I going to try and change that? What, like, that makes me look like an
Yep.
idiot for wanting to change their minds about gamers because of my misguided view on what a gamer was.
Yeah, exactly. And we've said it. I'm pretty sure we've said it before. I know I've said it to you, but there's a term that's being bandied about a lot, which is fascism, and
Yeah.
people are using it as a kind of fallback insult type thing. But
Mm,
fascism, as an actual political belief system, is the belief that everyone should be the same. Everyone
yeah,
should be exactly the same haircut, same clothes, same this, same.
yeah,
That doesn't matter which political side of the spectrum you're on. The
yeah,
minute you're trying to make everyone fall in line and be the same is the minute you become fascist,
yeah,
which is unfortunately overused and has lost its effectiveness in discourse. But we're not all the same
No,
at
we're
all.
not. No, we're all human. That's the only thing that actually links us all
Yep,
together. But we all have different likes, dislikes, tastes,
absolutely.
distastes, and all that sort of thing. We're not all the same
Absolutely.
politically. We're not all the same
No.
vertically. You know,
Yes.
just to put it in a
It's
weird
true.
way possible. We're,
Yeah, that's
that's
fine.
but that's what makes the human race so incredible and so
Yep.
diverse is that we all have differing opinions, and I like that, and I love
Absolutely.
the discourse that happens around this sort of thing rather than someone just trying to shut down someone right to speak, and I don't
Hmm.
agree with that. I'm a very, very,
No.
very big advocate and a very big fan of freedom of speech, regardless of
Absolutely.
what it means to people.
Hmm.
I We don't really have something like that over here as like you do in
Yeah.
America, and I believe that is a right to everybody, not just a very few
Hmm.
people. Everybody gets the right to speak,
Yep.
regardless of what your views are.
Yeah.
I think public discourse is a huge thing that should happen because it's
Hmm.
where the public discourse happens, where most people find out what most people were talking about politically, how they feel,
Right.
or what
Right.
their general opinions on things. And if they have what you consider a bad take, then
Hmm.
not to talk to them anymore, and that's it. You
Yeah. Like
know?
I, it, I don't understand the, well, there's probably lots of reasons why I don't understand, but I don't understand the vitriol and the anger and the venom that has crept into social discourse, and
Mm,
which we've stated before that stops here. we are not about that, nor will
No.
we ever be about that. We're about a sharing of ideas.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you look at it, I'm going to just use the U.S. as an example because, duh, that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
If you take a farmer from the Midwest, a Protestant farmer from the Midwest, who gets subsidies, farming subsidies and all this kind of thing, and you take um, a Wall Street hedge fund guy and a trans activist from Florida, they're all three going to have different walks of life,
Of
different
course.
points of view, and they're all going to be valid because
Yeah.
they're all human, you know?
I'm glad you said it like that, because everybody's
Yeah.
walks of life is their own, and everyone's
Mm-hmm.
experience is different, and it's that experience that can, bring everyone together
Exactly.
or separate people in
Mm-hmm.
sort of, not in an
It's like,
argument, I would say, but in an actual civil. It could be a civil way, but most people just want to throw insults around nowadays and
right.
call them every, well, like we said on episode 30,
White
every
supremacy.
ist, every ism,
Yeah.
every, and
Well,
white supremacist falls under
yeah,
that, I'm afraid.
exactly. So I'm not a big fan of that, and of course am not a big fan that she was, dancing around claiming now she has power.
Yeah, that's not
It's
right.
fine. It's fine to feel that way.
Yeah,
I don't like people. God, how do I phrase this? I don't like people. I don't think that should have been celebrated
no.
publicly. Yeah, it
No,
was.
absolutely not.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't seem right or productive.
Not at all.
I I would say if something like that was granted to me, I would be very honored, and I
Yeah.
would see it as a service to people. Not that
Yeah.
I had power, but that I had a responsibility.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think that's the whole key to this whole entire thing is she has not once voiced a responsibility for anything.
No, she hasn't. She's literally come across as a raging dictator, and that's all it is.
Yes.
And you look at it, and I'll put the two things on the table, and that's exactly why I think I have power now. People should be afraid. Sounds very much like Hitler.
Yeah. It's very threatening.
Labeling everyone as one particular group of people sounds very much like Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's very dictatorial, and that's not my level of enjoyment in this one. In actual fact, she should be highly criticised for what she has stated, and actually, she has, and rightly so.
Yeah. And we have hit Godwin's law right off off the bat.
With what?
Godwin's law, which is any discourse always falls down to comparing Nazis or Hitler.
Yep, sorry.
That's all right. I mean, that's human nature.
No,
They are.
I know it's very easy to do that, but most people just go, "Oh, you're worse than Hitler. You're worse than this," and it's
Yeah.
no. But I took the two statements. I took her out of
No.
the equation. I took the two
Mhm.
statements and said it sounds very much like what Hitler wanted to achieve, or Stalin wanted to achieve, or even to a
Any
certain
of
degree,
them. Yeah.
Joseph McCarthy did in the 50s as well.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So because
Yeah.
everyone seems to
Absolutely.
forget about the Red Panic.
Oh, well, being an American, I definitely
No, but
haven't. But yeah.
I recognise it obviously because I had to study it in sociology, and
Oh
it
wow.
was really interesting actually.
It's very interesting.
Mm,
I mean, I know this isn't our political podcast, but it's here's what I'll say, and then we'll go on to more about ferociously stuff.
yeah,
If you want to understand events that are happening now or how events will turn out, it's history. You just study history. You can
yeah,
predict it. You know, you can just. We're all humans. We're the same. We have been the same for thousands of years,
yeah.
and the historical record backs that up.
Of
So,
course, and history
but
does
yeah,
tend to repeat itself as well, because look at
absolutely.
how things were like in the 50s, where it was all
Hmm.
outrage culture and
Yep.
censorship and all that. Look where we
The
are
Red
now again.
Scare. Yeah,
Look where we
as
are
you say.
again.
Hmm.
Now it's to do with
Absolutely.
transphobia and homophobia and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yep, and they used to say that. Well, they still say it, but the people, the true racists during the '60s and '70s during the civil rights,
Yeah.
that were against civil rights, they say,
Mm.
you're on the wrong side of history. I feel that way for people who are against homosexual and LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Uh, they are on the wrong side of history,
I believe so
because
as well.
that's, yeah, to hate someone for one thing, which makes me want to say this. I This person, ferociously Steph,
Hmm.
she is a terrible person in my opinion, using her own words, uh, not because she's trans. She's a terrible person who happens to be trans.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Uh,
said that.
yeah, and I want that clarified because I'm I'm allowed, you're allowed, we're all allowed
Hmm.
to state an opinion, as she has stated. Um, and I think that she sounds like a terrible person, and it has absolutely no bearing on her sexuality, gender,
Yeah.
self-identifying, or
Mm,
uh, you know, it is
of
just
course.
her personality. I just don't like it.
I don't like the personality, and I don't like the words that came out of her mouth as well,
Yeah.
because I've got no issue with her sexuality, her gender, and how she
Yep.
identifies, because she even identifies
Not at all.
as a deer, which is
Yeah.
perfectly fine by my
You
standards, to
know,
be honest.
live and let live. Live and let
Yeah,
live. Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
the take that came out of this stream was horrendous,
Yes.
and anyone who
Absolutely.
wants to look at me as a bigot, they can do
Look.
that if they want to, but they would be wrong to do so, because we have
Absolutely.
stated we have no issue with gender, sexuality, and how they identify. We have issue with the statement
Absolutely not.
itself, and that is all.
Yes. Yes. Because
And
I know that I've. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
no,
Sorry.
it's no, I didn't want to interrupt you either. So go on.
Uh, well, I was just saying, I'm pretty sure I've stated on this podcast that I am staunchly against white supremacists. Well, any supremacist in any
Yeah.
way. But my very first time ever seeing the KKK in
Mm,
Texas, I was driving home. Yeah, I was driving home from university, college, as we call it.
yeah.
And they were on the side of the road. And I'm not a crier. And I bursted out crying because
Blimey.
to see hate in physical form
Yeah.
was disgusting, and it was upsetting. And I know that they're allowed to have opinions and they're
Mm,
allowed to exist, and that's fine, but I am not one of them, and
yeah.
I will not be associated with them.
Mm,
um, I don't like to use the word hate very often. I think it's a powerful word. I hate white supremacists.
yeah.
So don't lump me in those. I am not one.
Yeah. I've hung around with people before who have been somewhat racist, and even I've pulled them up about it in front of all their
Absolutely.
racist friends. And I said, why do you say things like that? What
Hmm.
purpose does it have? We are human, not we are not the color of our skins. We're actually more we are
Absolutely.
spiritual beings that are stuck in this form in a physical prison. Basically, we are just astral projections, pretty much in that
Well,
respect.
and one thing I've never understood, and I didn't mean to go into race, but I am going to state this. I mean, I'm from Texas. I got a lot of stereotypes to fight.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I now know it's, again, the autistic brain at work. But I couldn't understand racism because I was like, what if you're struck blind and then you don't know if, so and so's a different color or whatever? And, that's a 8, 9, 10 year old kid
Yeah.
going, what? I don't understand. And to this day, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd rather take people on the merits of their personality and their conversations, and I don't care for her
Yeah.
current
Exactly.
way.
I do feel we've stayed on this issue a fair bit too
Yeah, we
much, maybe.
have.
So
We
should
have. Yeah.
we should move on to the comments that have come out
Yeah.
as a result of this,
Yes. Yes.
because notoriously the Twitch CEO, God, if I
Yeah.
ever remember his name, to be honest.
Sheer, I think is his name.
I can't remember. Anyway,
He doesn't
the
deserve it.
well, the Twitch CEO,
It's Emmett
Gen,
Shear.
Emmett Shear.
Yeah.
I even said Emmett to you the other day, and I wasn't
You
sure
did?
it was correct, and I went,
No,
"Oh,
you were
okay,
right.
it was."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's notorious for being pretty quiet about most Twitch on going ons.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he's actually responded to this is damning. Let's say.
Right.
Along the lines, I'm not going to read the full statement.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the long and short of it, and I'll put a link in there so if you want to read the statement, you can.
Mm-hmm.
The advisory council is there to assist in matters that could be detrimental towards certain communities and demographics. They are, however, not employed by Twitch and therefore have no power as like people working for Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Interesting rebuttal.
Yeah. Kind of in those words, kind of said it, but not really
Mm-hmm.
to that sort of degree.
Right.
So, how do you feel about that statement alone, or his statements that Emmett put out?
I think that he is. I'm gonna sound like our I was gonna say correspondent Jen, but our fellow correspondent. I feel that he's in damage control,
Yeah, absolutely.
and yeah, and I don't think he's very strong.
No.
Like he does, he kind of bends with the wind, you might say, and
Yeah,
I think that he's trying to please everyone, and you can't do that.
I,
It's just
th-
not possible.
I think so, and I also think he's trying to call her out without mentioning her name.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I
Um,
100% believe that. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely damage control for sure, and it's
Mhm.
like I said, it's worrying that he would come out and actually have to physically address this when he usually stays silent on these kinds of matters. He has a
Yeah.
board of directors that do this sort of thing on a regular basis, who change
Hmm.
policies regularly, and he probably has involvement to it, but not to the public. You know,
Right. Right.
so for him to get involved like this is pretty damning.
Hmm.
But moving on slightly, Steph has actually come out and posted a thread on
Hmm.
Twitter, which some people call this an apology. Some people call this a load of crap. Myself calls this weird, to say the
Yeah.
least.
Fractured and
Butthole.
a rambly. Yes. Fractured, a bit rambly, and I can't ever find the point that she's trying to make. So,
No, I can't either.
yes.
So we're going to have a little bit of a fun time here because I'm going to read this full statement with comments as well. Well, not our with our comments included, not the Twitter
Right.
comments, because geez, that could get bad.
Hmm.
So these were posted out from the 22nd of May, which was a couple of days ago, as per this recording. So Friday.
Hmm.
It starts out with, and these are pinned on her profile. So at ferociously S on Twitter.
Hmm.
Please do not contact her. Please do not go and give
No.
hate. Please, if you want to go and read them, just read them, but stay out of it
Hmm.
because I don't want people commenting on our behalf. We can't
Right.
control you. I'm just saying that. We can't control our audience, but we just
No.
actively ask you to not approach her
Yeah.
and give damning comments because it's not needed. I think she's had enough of it.
It's not productive.
And
It's
it's
not
not
productive.
productive at all. So
Yeah.
just read it, take on board what's been said, have your
Yeah.
own criticism about it, and then go and talk to this about people on Twitter, but not directly to her. Just leave her out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think you'll see why I'm asking this when you start to see some of the statement.
Hmm.
Okay, so starts out with, ever get farmed for clickbait? Question mark. Obviously.
Hmm.
So in brackets, Fred, thoughts, feelings, apology, written to many different people. Don't even know what that means.
No.
Okay, so the next part is, I feel like my voice has been taken from me. I've been straining to try and take it back since. So many people have attended my Q&A streams, segments, and left seeing me different. It gives me hope. I spend most of my time nowadays trying to correct my perception.
Just wrong use
Okay,
of that term.
exactly. Anyway,
Unless
maybe
she really means she's trying to change her own point of view. That would give me hope, but I don't think
I
so.
I do hope so, but if I'm being highly critical and pessimistic like I usually am, I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
I can't help the pessimist in me sometimes.
Cynic.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with cynical then. Alright, so she
Yeah.
continues to say, I'm continually understanding the bounds of this extreme standards I am held to. Sorry, what extreme standard you're held to?
Right.
You are a Twitch streamer,
Hmm.
nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
You have no extreme standard on your behalf. You are one of the first openly trans streamers.
Hmm.
You don't have a position.
Right.
That's all. If that's all you want to be, then that's all you're ever going to be, I'm afraid. If you want to
Hmm.
live by that label, fine. I'm the first ever. I'm the first ever this. That's not how people evolve. People
No.
evolve by going with the times. And it just sounds like she wants to live on this constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it says, it's my responsibility to not speak anything that... let me read this again because this is really badly wrote.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility to not speak anything that can be clipped, trimmed, and used against me, always removing who I was responding to. But also, I'm a streamer. I engage with people. I'm not perfect. That's probably the only thing I agree with there. I'm not
Well,
perfect.
exactly.
Because nobody is.
Usually that's the preface of a apology, but
Usually, yes.
yeah,
No.
I it just kind of sticks out like a sore
Yeah.
thumb in this
Yeah.
particular one.
I'm going to take it back slightly to one other thing as well.
Hmm.
It's my responsibility to not speak anything that can be clipped, trimmed, and used against me. No, you took
Hmm.
that chance. You took that responsibility on when you decided to become a public figure.
Yeah, exactly.
When you
You have
decided to go
to.
on Twitch,
Hmm.
much like when you decide to make a podcast,
Hmm.
people are
Yeah,
going to clip and trim your stuff to fit a purpose of
absolutely.
what they want it to look like.
Hmm.
Only people who are willing to go and look for context find the context. Most
Right.
people want to be outraged.
Yeah.
So, moving on slightly.
Hmm.
I've been harassed, doxed, and impersonated. Don't agree with any of those things. She should not have had any of that done to her.
No.
Nobody
No.
deserves to be doxed.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I have to agree with you there. Yeah, no,
But
don't do that to people.
yeah, my issue is with the word harassed, because harassed has now become so cookie cutter at this point. Harassment
Yeah,
can mean I've had a couple of comments on Twitter that don't agree with my standpoint.
exactly.
So I'm not going to get involved with that, but the doxing or swatting, anything like that,
Oh gosh, yeah, no, absolutely against that.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox here. I brought it along
Yeah,
with me today.
yeah.
Anyone who doxes anyone who swats anyone who does anything like that is a scumbag.
Yeah,
That's not right.
100%.
Don't
Yeah,
dox people because that's their personal information. Everyone has a right to be on the internet and be safe.
yeah.
Like, because there's so much more that can go on. For example, imagine if I got doxxed. That's my mum and dad getting involved in that too, and I don't
Hmm.
want that all because I have a hot take on the internet. Nah, not for me.
Exactly,
People's
exactly.
personal lives should not be brought into internet matters.
Unless they themselves voluntarily bring it
They,
in.
thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Hmm.
So, moving on to the next part of the statement. There's one specifically nasty impersonator using my name with a capital I instead of L, who has fooled so many people. Twitter has done nothing about it for days. I've seen too many images of GIFs of deer getting killed. Sorry, hunting's legal. What's the issue
Yeah,
there?
I mean, the thing is, if you're of a sensitive nature, as she self describes,
Yeah.
either coming up or has already read it,
Hmm.
if you're of a sensitive nature, the internet's not where you need to be.
No.
Because you're gonna see stuff. You
Oh
can
yeah.
see stuff a whole lot worse than dead deer. I hate to say that, but
Yeah.
that's what you know when you sign on, and when you go on the internet, your possibility of seeing something uncomfortable is
Oh yeah.
raised quite a bit. Yeah.
I mean, even going on Netflix and watching a documentary called "Don't F
Oh
with
yeah.
Cats" was enough to see something I didn't want to see, which was cats being
Right.
killed. But
Oh gosh, yeah.
it's a documentary about how they caught a cat killer. So I chose to
Yeah.
I chose to watch it. That was my own fault.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
that's why I choose not to go on LiveLeak, because LiveLeak's
Oh
disgusting.
yeah. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. I had to stop going on there as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was
yeah.
when I do you remember when the Jihadi John thing was happening
Yeah.
over here? I think
Yes.
it was around about the time where I went on LiveLeak and I saw someone get
Yeah.
beheaded, and that was
That
it. I was
was
like, no, I'm done. I don't want to see
same
this.
exact. Same exact for me. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm out. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm I like to be aware of things in the
Mhm.
world, but I don't have to see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
You know, there
But I
are
know that
probably
the possibility is there. So,
exactly. But
yeah.
there are going to be images of deers getting killed because people go hunting. People, America
Yeah.
has the Second
Oh,
Amendment where people
look.
have guns and they go hunting, and people want to eat, and it
And in
happens.
Texas, and like literally yesterday, a friend from Texas posted her car
Mm,
was the headlight was broken and
yeah.
totally shoved in. It was like a Mini Cooper or a Jetta, or just one of those
Okay.
tiny little cars.
Yep.
And then the next picture was the dead deer on the road, and she was like,
Oh.
holy crap, it happened again. But see, that to me, it never even flagged or registered that it
No.
was a thing, because that's so common
Oh, of course.
where
Yeah.
I'm from. You see that all the time. So I don't know.
I mean,
I think this is a little too much.
of
Like,
course.
I want people to feel sorry for me, so
Yeah. I
I'm gonna
mean,
use that.
you say it's common
Mm.
over there, but it's also common here. My brother actually wrote one of his cars
I
off
bet it is.
because he hit a deer.
Yeah,
Like, just literally
yeah.
ran out
I
into the
forget.
road right in front of him, didn't have enough time to brake, wrote off his entire car.
Yeah, and the deers here are gigantic and huge.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're massive.
It's weird, guys. I know this is going off subject, but all of the animals here are gigantic compared to the animals back in the US. The birds are bigger, the cats are 5 times bigger. It's weird.
Which is weird, considering that America is the fattest nation in the world. You would have thought you would
Yeah,
plump up your cats a little bit more.
you'd think so, but it's not even the heft of
Yeah.
the cats. They're just larger, and
Okay.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
As are the birds. But yeah,
Okay.
none of that matters.
That is a tangent I didn't think we'd ever go down.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know
Okay,
exactly.
so the next part of this statement has inverted commas supremacists.
Yeah.
Moving on. I've been engaged by people who have made it clear they don't want gaming to be more inclusive of minorities. They believe gaming belongs to them and want to keep it that way. They are undesiring of any amount of discourse or compromise. In brackets, read
Um,
next tweet.
there's a lot of things wrong with that,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm going to say that she gets to say that that's her point of view. I get to say I've never ever met anyone in the
Mm,
gaming community, and I'm obviously in the gaming community,
yep.
who has ever said anything different from gaming is for everyone.
Yeah.
That's a freaking hashtag. That's a freaking, call to,
The call to arms.
everything. Yeah. And
Yep.
gaming is for everyone. I don't know these terrible people she knows. Maybe she should think about getting new friends. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. Because I've been to local tournaments for Smash Brothers Brawl up
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
near my local area, and
Right.
I mean it's a small shop, where they were
Mm-hmm.
holding it, But the vast majority of people there weren't white.
Right.
They were either we had white, black, Asian, female, transgendered, the whole lot.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
walked into that shop and we said hello to people. We shook hands with people. We fist bumped anyone we were playing against, and it was like, yeah, good
Hmm.
luck. And you go out after the game. It's like, oh, well done. Oh, hard
Yep,
luck. Sorry you lost. Oh, by the way, what was it that you did to take my stock away? And they're more than happy to give
exactly.
advice and stuff like that. I did
Exactly.
the same at Evo.
Yeah.
One of my really poor run of games, unfortunately, where I went 0-2, was
Hmm.
against a rather large black American, which
Hmm.
he absolutely destroyed me. And if I was some sort of misogynist or some sort of racist, I would have cursed him out and all that sort of thing. No,
Right, exactly.
I shook his hand. I said, "Good game."
Hmm.
Also, I have never seen that done before. Can you tell me how to avoid that? And he told me.
Yeah, which is, I love that. I
And
freaking love that.
yeah, and then he went, "England?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, so cool." And just that was it. It
Oh,
was
that's
like, "Oh,
cool.
awesome." I've come from halfway across the world and I'm
Oh, that's
meeting cool
brilliant.
people. And it was all across the entirety of Evo. There was so many different people from all walks of life, and it was
Yes.
amazing. And nobody caused any issue at all.
Yeah. I think I love gaming. I love the gaming community. I love that it brings all of us together.
Absolutely.
Um, so I think that's why I'm so viscerally angry at this person.
Oh, I'm angry too, but
Because
I'm being a little bit more sort of like on the down low about it.
yeah, but I think she's speaking out against something that I'm very passionate about, which is
Yeah.
I just love the variety of the gaming community.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not fair that her voice is the loud voice that the media has picked up
Yeah.
and not our voice going, gaming's for everyone.
Because it unfortunately doesn't fit with the press agenda that's happening at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I suppose so. And that is very disappointing. But that's why
Yeah.
my anger is coming from.
Yeah, and
But
don't get me wrong, I'm very angry about this as well,
yes,
but
I
I'm
know.
sort of
Yeah.
trying to take the stance of let's be balanced about this.
Yes, which is a good stance to have.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so moving on. The next part says, I do not haphazardly apply this perception to anyone or everyone. Okay, I agree with that.
Hmm.
I don't disagree with that.
Hmm.
I think that's where the apology is starting to come out, but it's taken quite a long period to get to this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So it goes, disagreeing with me is not cause for me to label someone like this. Good. Good.
Hmm.
I, like anyone who tries, do my best to allow everyone to show and tell me who they are. It's clearly very hard to call this sort of behaviour out.
That
I don't agree with that.
confuses me.
Yeah,
That whole, I don't understand. I can't
no,
follow the logic.
I don't follow it at all. She started out with some really good statement there, but then it's like
Hmm.
it's very hard to call this sort of behaviour out. Don't call it out then.
Right.
I'm afraid. Just
Or call it
it,
out, but not
yeah,
not as a general blanket statement,
yeah,
you know?
agreed. I was gonna say if you don't know anything about this subject, shut the hell up about it. But everyone's
Yeah.
entitled to an opinion. But it's the
Hmm.
blanket statement. I agree. That's what's caused the
Yeah.
issue here.
Yeah.
Because I sent you a video this morning that obviously is meant to be a little bit more edgy about this.
Yes. Yes. But it was a good take. It was a
Yeah,
good
it
take.
was, and it's a guy who's watching watching these statements happen on a Twitch stream, obviously, and you
Hmm.
don't actually know, and he just literally takes the camera away and looks in and puts it towards the mirror, and you see that he's a 6 foot odd black guy,
Yeah.
and then he starts to shout
Yeah.
the N word.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the whole point of the look in the camera at the mirror was sort of like, you called me a white supremacist. No, I'm
Hmm.
black.
Yeah.
You know, so
Exactly.
that's
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved that take, to be fair, apart from the bit at the end, but I did laugh at it,
Yeah.
to be fair, because it
But
was obviously in context is supposed to be funny.
yeah, it's actually very funny.
Yeah,
If you have a chance to go see it, but I think it speaks to the diversity of gaming community,
agreed.
and I love that.
Yeah,
I
so
just
do
love
I.
it.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more tweets left on this. I know, this is crazy.
We took our whole entire news section.
I know. It's good that we've got 2 shorter news stories coming later then.
Yeah, yeah.
This is why we tackled this first, because this was a long one. It says, I am especially sorry for my peers and friends who have been pressured to make judgments about me in this situation. I also... says, I feel responsibility of so much stress I have caused. Also for the unsafety I've brought to my community. I didn't ask for this, neither did you. Sorry, but this is where I would change this statement.
Yeah.
I am especially sorry for my peers and friends. No, I am sorry. End of.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. I am sorry. That's all that needs to be said. It's not about...
Or just, I am sorry for what I said. It came from a place of ignorance. I now know better and have learned. And going forward, I will no longer make such blanket statements.
Yeah,
I just came up with that in like 2 seconds.
I know, but it's the fact she said, I'm sorry for my peers and friends who have to...
That's what I'm saying.
Who have to defend me. It's like, no, they don't. They're probably not defending you. But why are you only apologising to them? I feel the responsibility of the stress I have caused. Well, yeah, you should. Good.
Yeah.
And for the unsafety I've brought to my community. What community does she mean?
Yeah.
The trans community? The transhumanism community? The gaming community?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. So, if you are angry at me, why? Because of your blanket statement.
I would love to have an actual discourse with her about that.
Oh my god, shall I reach out and try and see if we can put something together?
Reach out and promise that, we're
fair. We're fair.
Yeah. We're not a shouty, McShouty.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, we let everyone speak.
I might try and DM her later from the Rapid Reviews account then,
we'll
and see if we can try and get some discourse. Because I like the discourse.
You know what? I think also she should have a platform to be able to speak her mind.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Everyone should have a platform. Okay, I'll reach out later then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am not going to ruin games for you. Good, because you can't. At worst, I'm going to introduce you to an uncomfortable perspective. Not uncomfortable for me, I'm afraid. So you've just blanket statemented it again.
Yeah, it's like which perspective? Calling people white supremacists? Because I'm not going to do that.
No.
I don't think it came from a trans perspective. I never picked that up.
No, I didn't either. I mean, your black and white thinking wouldn't have done that, but...
Yeah.
Mine definitely didn't pick up on that straight away because that's not the first thing I think of. I think of,
no.
She called me a white supremacist, and I definitely am not.
Exactly.
I know in myself I am not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Getting angry all over again.
Yeah, I know. So this is the statement I've always hated. I always hated these statements when I see them in reviews, so I'm just going to say it. I am a gamer too. I've been one my whole life. It's like, why do you need to put your credentials down there?
Right. Although, to be fair, I did want to know if she was a gamer or not. I said that to you very early on.
Yeah, agreed. But I didn't feel like that needed to be said. It's like,
no.
Whenever I read a review that starts out with, I've been playing games since I was 3 years old, it's like, have you really, though?
Yeah.
Because then you start going into things that are not in the video games, and it makes me worry that you're not actually part of the community at all. It's just weird. Right. So I don't like. That's why I never ever write a review that puts my credentials down on paper like that, because I know in myself I've played games since I was 4 years old. Oh shoot! I've just done it.
You just did it.
I know.
But
that's why I just said I know in myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where the big difference is for me. But I did kind of just do it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did it earlier in the episode as well.
Probably.
We all gatekeep the things that we love. That's the problem.
Yeah, we do. It is human nature to do that.
Yeah. So I'm 27. Didn't want to know how old you are, to be honest. At 27, you're near enough to be... You're a full-on adult, and you should know better. I played multiplayer shooters when I was 2. Why? Your parents need to have strong words about that. Or someone needs to have strong words with your parents about letting you play multiplayer shooters like COD at 2 years old.
All
or
right.
whatever was around at that time. So 27, that makes 1993. So since 2 years old. So she's
Mortal
playing
Kombat.
Doom. Doom.
Doom and Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Yeah. So surely she should have been desensitized by this point.
Yeah.
Video games and game culture is in my blood. Once again, putting your credentials down on
But
page.
as we've said, she's now claiming an identity as a gamer.
Yep, fine. I've got no issue with that.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, I
But,
knew she was. She's on Twitch, and you see that she is
yeah,
playing
exactly.
games on Twitch, so
But,
could be a hustle, obviously, but we don't know that.
well, yeah, but we yeah. But my very black and white logical thinking goes, you said lots of gamers are white supremacists,
Yeah.
and you said that you're a gamer.
Oh, yeah, we did mention this off show, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. Therefore, A plus B equals C? Uh, you don't.
Moving on, because I think that's all that needed to be said about that one. It's a good, no, to be fair, it is a fair point, I think. So
Yeah.
essentially, by saying, I'm a gamer,
Yeah.
so you've just called yourself a white supremacist then, with your blanket statement.
Exactly.
So your statement here has not actually fully apologised for making that blanket statement, so you have just called yourself that.
Yep, it's like there's this scene on Metalocalypse
Yeah.
where the lead guy goes, let's see, bleach is water, and we are water. Therefore, we are bleach. It makes me think of that. It's a
Yeah.
very like, can't do that. That's
Yeah.
a strange logical thing. But anyway,
Yeah,
yes.
of course. So I'll move on to the next three parts because
No, gosh, yeah.
So I always have, and always will try to make this world a better place. No, you didn't.
I'd take issue with that.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say that she hasn't completely. I'm just going to say that she's pretty much blanket statemented, and that's not made the world a better place. It's made people more
Yeah,
puerile
exactly.
towards her.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly sensitive, yep, as proven by this tweet thread. I'm incredibly sensitive and deeply motivated to bring in happiness to people, all people, not just my community. So that goes against your previous statement up there. So you've contradicted yourself. Objection.
Yes. Objection.
Yeah, and it's not overruled. I hope someone can see me and feel more valid about who they are and feel to be more authentic. What?
But you've accused us of being white supremacists.
Which is not an authentic take.
That's not authentic. And that is not who I am.
No.
And also, I don't know any white supremacists, and yet I know gamers. So...
Yeah. But now we're actually coming to the crux of what the issue started with, because I forgot to mention this. If you want to talk about voice chat, now is not the time. This all started out because she said that voice chat was unfair and it should be banned in games.
And
in competitive gaming, sorry.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
My gosh.
No,
How would you even have a team? But yes.
I mean, I know Nintendo are terrible at it, but why does voice chat exist on Splatoon 2? A game about tactics.
Yep. No, I've played too many games where I'm on a squad and I have to talk to them.
Me too.
So
even Fortnite.
Yeah. Didn't want to admit to that, but yes.
No, I will admit to that because that's what I was doing when the game first came out.
No,
before it became this massively popular thing for everyone. That's Kylie. Why did you do that? You gatekeeped. You were gatekeeping again.
I did.
See, I chose not to do it.
Simpsons did it. I did it.
Oh, dear. Okay, yes. We'll move on. So
we're an hour into this.
Are we really?
We are.
Oh my goodness. This has taken nearly an hour.
Probably should have been our topic.
No, we've got something good for that. I did not invite this conversation. Sorry, you did.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
you can hear my opinions on streams from Q&As. Yeah, we already have.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
Basically, she's trying to deflect here. It's like, this is now not the time to bring it up. Yes, it is, because it was all in part of the context of the situation. What you're trying to do is go, this is not the time to bring it up because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Sorry, you don't get to choose when a conversation stops.
Yeah,
Called censorship.
exactly.
In time, a good conversation interview will arise. Well, that's why I'm getting onto this, boys. Sorry, I was actually rubbing my hands together there like a maniacal genius.
I literally pictured you doing that, but oh my gosh.
Excellent. There are other things going on right now. Yes, there are. There are a lot of other things going on right now, but that doesn't mean you can move the conversation away from what you've said.
Exactly.
And it ends with, thank you. I hope these tweets assist your understanding of me and the situation. No, it doesn't, actually.
No, but it does make me want to understand, so...
Yeah, it does.
Make us understand.
Yeah, it gives a lot more context. A little bit more context. And it gives me a lot more understanding into her psyche. So fine.
Right.
I'm glad about that in that respect. Everyone has the right to voice themselves. And I'm not suggesting that people don't exercise their free speech, because I would never do that, because that's how authoritarianism happens.
Yes.
I am a big advocate of freedom of speech, regardless of what the speech is.
Yeah.
Everyone has that right, even white supremacists, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Although, remember, they're not free from the consequences of what they say.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, there's no, but they shouldn't be consequences by state decree. It should be social consequences.
Right, exactly.
That's where my stance is on freedom of speech, people.
Yes.
That's in context. That can't be taken out of context. It probably could, but I'm not going to allow it to.
Anything can be taken out of context.
Yes, it can. And this is half the problem with this story, I think, is some of this could have been taken out of context had it not been for the video clips.
Yeah, exactly.
So she finishes out and says, I hope these... I've already read that. Your kind messages and support are getting heard. Some people are probably kind, but then there are probably... So she's clearly avoiding the negative messages. What she should have done was said, your messages are being heard, regardless of whether they're positive or negative.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
then again, I wouldn't have created a God knows how many tweet threads that essentially dances around the issue of not saying sorry. My first thing would have been, I made a take. My hot take was not conceived very well. I apologise for that hot take. It is my opinion, but I have been informed that it might be misguided. I apologise.
Right.
And I would have said sorry a fair few times. If I would have made a genuine mistake, I would have done that.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it would have made you look more complex and mature and widened your audience.
Yep, exactly. Right. Because you get in the front of this, you go, I own this. I'm not going to let anyone...
get out in the front.
Yeah, I'm not going to let it own me. I'm going to own this and go, fine, I hold my hands up, I apologise. I said some things that were conceived wrong, or maybe conceived as wrong by other people. I'm going to work harder to make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see we both me and you collectively have come up with a statement that is so much better than what has been put out in 15 tweets or however many it is. I'm going to go and find out. So
she should hire us as her PR team. Oh my goodness. But it would be good. I mean, even if we could get a statement off of her, it would be nice.
I mean, even if we do that, I'm just gonna I'll put it in the message to the ZM and just see whether or not, and just say, look, we would love to bring you on to discuss discuss what happened in the live streams. We're not willing to take pot shots. We want discourse and a conversation. But if you aren't able to join us, we would like a statement at the very least to say.
Yeah, and it will be word for word read.
Exactly. I'll even post. I'm willing to post screenshots and everything as well, because I'm not willing to take anyone out of context.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we're
But
both pretty big on that.
we're
So
fair. I'd say we're quite fair.
yeah, but we are now an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah, let's move away from this crazy, crazy story.
Yeah, but it did need to be discussed.
Mm,
It was a conversation that needed to be had, and because it was an insult to the gaming community at
yeah,
large.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now
So
to the happier stuff.
yeah. So now that you're all awake,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'll cover this one first because this was weird. I mean, the
Yep.
next two stories are great, but
Hmm.
weird at the same time.
Yes.
So you know that obviously Xbox Live on the original Xbox got closed
Hmm.
down in 2010, and the
Yes.
reason why it was so late was because of Halo 2,
Yes.
because
Remember
nobody
right
would
now.
jump off of it.
Yep.
They
They were
kept the
all the
server.
servers were
Yeah,
always yeah.
yeah. They kept like
Yeah.
literally there was like one person on there who literally kept a server a game open
Yep.
so that the server stayed open.
Yes. Yes.
There is currently a project that is in closed beta at the moment, I believe. It was reported
Hmm.
by Kotaku a few days ago and picked up by Spawnwave Media.
Hmm.
That the project Insignia is a current project that is being worked on by community members, which aims to bring Xbox Live back to the original Xbox.
Hmm.
Meaning the games
I
that don't have an active online community anymore could be replayed, like Chaos Theory.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna bring out my OG Xbox when this happens. I'm updating it with Project Insignia, and I'm going
Oh
straight back
yeah.
onto Chaos Theory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of
Uh,
course. I mean, Halo 2 still has like rogue servers
what do you mean? You don't want to play the
around.
Master Chief Collection?
Well,
That's all I need to
well,
say.
well, yes.
No,
Yeah,
I want to play the game as it was originally intended by
exactly.
Bungie, not by
Exactly.
343.
Exactly.
They're not my Halo developers.
Oh, that's right. Hashtag not my Halo developers.
Hashtag gatekeeping again.
Oh my gosh, that's just what I am, I guess.
Clearly, clearly.
Well, you can't be a real gamer if you're not a gatekeeper. So,
Did you say gatekeeper or
yep.
gatekeeper? Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. I was being very meta there.
Okay, fine. I apologise for my incredibly terrible take.
That's quite all right.
See? That's how things happen.
Yes, that's right. Oh dear. Okay. But
I
yes,
think we've got mad, honestly.
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
But I am excited about this.
Yeah, me too. It
I
could
kind of
be,
want to mess around and see what happens.
yeah, I mean, it could be a couple of years. I mean,
Yeah.
just bear it in mind, this is not actually designated and authorized by Microsoft.
Right.
This is a
Right.
community project, and I tell you what, if Microsoft got on board with this and gave them backing, oh my days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about this actually yesterday whilst I was enjoying my very long walk.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Microsoft talked about the family of consoles, did they not?
Yes, they
With the
did.
Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the One X, the
Mm-hmm.
Series X, the Series S, if it decides
Yeah.
if Lockhart is actually a thing that they're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
How about if they gave this company or these people who are making Project Insignia a bit of money and went,
Mm-hmm.
oh, by the way, we want the original Xbox back on the ecosystem and the
Yeah.
360.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they kept the servers open for all of those so that it
I
was across
think
their entire family.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, me too.
As an, I mean, I think it's pretty clear, especially if you've been following my Twitter. I'm an Xbox gal,
Yeah,
um, and yeah, that gives me the warm fuzzies. I
yeah.
wish they would do that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, with you being an Xbox person, I feel rather bad that I sent you a PS4 game.
Yes, because as we've said earlier in the show,
I still didn't force you to paint that wall.
I had to paint the wall to take the TV off.
Can I ask you a quick question about that though?
Yes.
Would I happen to be standing behind you at 2 meters, by the way, with a gun to your head, going, "You must do this"?
No,
Well, then I
but
didn't force you to do anything.
you influenced me heavily to paint my walls.
I don't have that kind of influence. I'm not that persuasive. I am not a politician.
Yeah, thank goodness, because
I'd be a
we wrecked
liar.
the government, man. Well, not too.
Liar by default. You become a
Yeah,
politician, therefore.
exactly. But we're not on a political podcast as much as we want to be.
Yeah, of
So
course. No.
moving on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. This is exciting.
It's not exciting because this is a non-story if I've ever seen one, but I had to put it in.
Yeah.
So we're very fast approaching the 10th anniversary to a particular film that I will not mention by name at present.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a viewing party that was going on some sort of, whether or not it was Twitch or Zoom or whatever, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But it included some pretty reputable people with this viewing party, including a particular two gentlemen that could have a very big deal with this, being Edgar Wright and Bryan Lee O'Malley. One is the creator of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The other is the director of the film.
Yup.
To which Bryan Lee O'Malley tweeted out during this watch party, didn't tag them in it, but said Ubisoft or whoever. I don't know if he mentioned specific Ubisoft or Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Specifically said, bring back Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
Yep.
The game that was notoriously delisted in 2014 from the Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network.
Yeah. Cannot believe. Yeah.
But
Ugh.
fans of the game, including myself, were given some semblance of hope when, completely out of nowhere, Ubisoft put the thinking man's emoji underneath that tweet. Meaning there could be some plans to bring the game to current consoles.
Which would very much benefit them.
Yeah, it would.
Based on my experience, yes.
But I actually was watching the video from Spawnwave Plus on this one. As you probably noticed, I use him quite a lot now because he's actually a very good source for things. Also, his podcast is wicked.
Sweet.
But he pictured a hypothetical scenario where Ubisoft are doing their Ubisoft Play thing from E3, which obviously E3 is not happening this year, we know that, but they could do a digital event where they're talking about the usual Assassin's Creed and all that sort of thing, and then suddenly they just go, oh, we've got a little bit of a surprise for you, a black screen, and then the great sounds of that opening from Anamanaguchi, and then they go, Scott Pilgrim is returning. Oh, God!
People would go nuts. That's what people would talk about from that event.
Right, do you want to know how nuts I would go? And I'm not meaning this actually literally, but I would strip my clothes off, run out in the street and go, it's back! Like, I would lose my mind.
Yep, I know several people that would. I do.
Oh, the game is fantastic. I love everything about it. Like, it was... Oh, I can't even go into it without getting, like, pretty giddy.
Right.
Pretty Gideon, sorry, shall I say.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
yes! Making terrible references.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the music is outstanding. The game is outstanding. The visuals are outstanding. It getting delisted was not outstanding.
Yes.
But it is probably one of my favourite scroll and beat 'em ups ever created. And that's saying something considering how much I love Final Fight and Streets of Rage. But this game advanced the scroll and beat 'em up in such a way that it had been non-existent for such a long time and brought it back
Yeah,
into the hive mind. And it's just
absolutely. No, I do absolutely agree with that for
also
sure.
the exploding dog pile is one of the most fun things I have ever seen in a game.
Yeah, yeah. That is a wild mechanic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do hope. I hope for all of the fans that they're able to do that to bring it
Oh,
back.
if it's on Switch, then my goodness, I'm
Oh
buying three
goodness.
copies of that game.
I was gonna say, yeah. I just think, yeah. I think, oh
I kid you
God.
not, if they actually said, "Oh, we're bringing this back to Xbox Live Arcade,"
Mhm.
and anyone who bought the game on 360 gets it for free, oh
Oh.
my goodness. Or anyone, or if you owned it on PS3, then you still have the same account, and you could
Mhm.
re-download it with extra visuals and stuff like that.
That would be very.
And then if limited run games happen to do a physical version of it, I'm getting physical, of course, because I'm
Yeah.
such a scummy person
Uh-huh.
who just wants to give game companies money, of course. That's how much I love this game, alright?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
know. I know. I know. I know.
I own 3 copies of Streets of Rage 4 as well.
Gosh. Gosh. Yeah.
I got the review copy on the PS4, didn't I? I got the copy on the Xbox One so I can play it with
Yes.
one of my mates, and I've got a physical Switch version from Limited Run coming soon.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I love my scroll and beat 'em ups as much as I love my fighting games.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
How do you feel
Oh.
about this one though?
I have never played it directly. I've only watched it being played.
Mm,
And it was enjoyable. I was mostly taken aback when they delisted it
yeah,
because it was my first time having to deal with the thought of I don't own a game,
yeah,
not truly.
and now I can't ever go back and get it
Yeah,
properly.
yeah, because I'm one of those people who had Flappy Bird, even though it was stupid and terrible,
Yeah, so did
um,
I.
and kept it just because, like,
Mm,
out of sheer, I downloaded it's mine.
yeah,
uh, because of the whole yeah, so for me it was a big influence on that on
yeah,
trying to understand owning a digital property, but I do know that the people around me absolutely are nuts over it,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was for me. It was one of the first times that I'd ever seen a game properly delisted like that. But I had seen
yeah.
examples of delisting happening before.
Hmm.
It has happened since, and I'll bring a couple of examples of it happening previously and one that happened afterwards, and they're quite famous examples. One of them was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it's
Yeah, oh yeah.
that got delisted because of licensing, but
Yes, that's right.
it was the DLC that got delisted, not the actual game. Like, so you couldn't,
Hmm.
the game did get delisted and you couldn't go and buy it anymore. But if you owned a
Right.
copy of it, there was no way you could go and buy Jill Valentine and Shumagorath, which was
Hmm.
weird.
Yeah.
The other example happened at exactly the same time when Marvel vs. Capcom Origins on the 360 and PS3 got
Hmm.
completely delisted. That was the one that had Marvel Superheroes and Marvel vs. Capcom 1,
Hmm.
and that got completely delisted along with Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the most recent example, obviously you've mentioned Flappy Bird, but the most prevalent one is PT.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, of course. Which we spoke of before. That, oh yeah, that was,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm still dealing with
yeah.
the loss of that.
I know. I wanted to actually
Uh,
play that demo, and I've got never got round to it.
yeah, yeah.
Didn't even
Uh,
download it, so I can't even get it anymore.
mhm.
Damn. But that's the news.
Yep. So we will try to breeze past the next
That's
bit.
not happening.
Oh my gosh, we're 1 hour and 25 minutes in.
Sorry if we've
Um,
bored you.
yeah. So this is where we move on to our next segment of the You Got This segment, which will actually be 2
Well,
minutes.
it's going to have to be because we've got more
It
now
has.
than we usually do have.
I know. Oh my goodness. But it is actually, it's a moment where you take 2 minutes or however much you need
Yeah.
to start your week off in, just quiet thinking, mindfulness type thing.
Yeah.
Um, they're getting tougher and tougher because the lockdown is lasting longer and longer. but I mostly just want to give everyone some words of encouragement that just hang in there. Uh, we're going to make it through. Remember to reach out anytime you're feeling
Yeah.
like you're in a bad place. Reach out to family and friends because this is one of those instances where we're all experiencing it. We can have a shared moment between all of us because we're all suffering. Um, but it's very important that you keep your hopes high because there will be an end to this. We will come out of it. Um, so just stay in contact with family and friends. If you do video chat, make sure you do that. Everything. We're very, very lucky, believe it or not. We're very lucky in this instance that we do have ways to communicate with our family and friends.
Yeah.
Because it's not been so open in the past centuries, obviously.
Hmm.
Uh, so this is very, we have to take the good with the bad, and the good is we can talk to people we need to, even if it's just by phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just hang in there, guys. You're doing amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
we all are. Not just you
Yeah.
guys. All of us as a nation or as a
Yeah. Yes.
collective humans are
Global
doing very well in
community.
this respect. There are a few bad eggs, but we're not going to call them
There
out.
always is. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always going to be bad eggs. There just are. That's just life. All we can do is be the best that we are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly. Don't focus on what other people are doing because that's the
no,
fast track to be able to put yourself into a really bad place. I've done it a
yeah,
couple of times where I see people around me who are not doing the whole thing, and you just get
yes,
angry and upset because you're doing your thing and you want this to end,
hmm
but you can't get
yeah,
angry at people for having free will, I'm afraid.
yeah. I mean, just yeah, just keep everyone close to you that you can. Even if it's via technology.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and we're gonna pull through, and
too right.
yeah, there will be happier days ahead. And as
Yeah.
always, we've got this
Yes.
together.
Yes, we do. But
So,
we're going to move
mhm,
on to our topic now,
yes, we are.
which actually comes off the back of last week's episode. So if you haven't listened to
Yes,
last week's episode, what are you doing?
right.
Stop this episode, go back and listen to that, and come back to us now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
We'll
you
still
can,
be.
or we can sum up what we spoke about just briefly, which was
Yeah.
video game movies. So
Yes.
movies based on video game properties.
Hmm.
We wanted to do TV as well, but we didn't actually mention any.
Yeah.
But we've left it open because
Yeah.
there are so many we could cover it, and I even mentioned
Absolutely.
please do not come
Hmm.
at me with Uwe Boll ones because we're going to cover those alone. That is a topic in its own right.
uh, one
But
day, guys,
yeah,
that will happen.
oh yeah, definitely. We will come back to this. We
Oh
definitely
yes.
will because there's
Yeah.
far too many to mention. And this is
Yeah.
another one that we could also leave open as well because there's so many that we could
Absolutely.
discuss. But we're
Yeah.
actually going in the opposite direction. So
Hmm.
movies and TV shows that were then turned into video games.
Yes.
So I'm going to start us out here because I'm going to throw the most meta one that I can.
Hmm.
A video game that was turned into a movie that was then turned back into a video game.
Yes.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yes.
This
Kind
was,
of takes us full circle back to last week, but
that's why I started with it.
that's so
Do you want to know why I mentioned it
yes.
first?
Why?
Because I forgot to mention it last week.
Well, tell us a little bit about it because I cannot believe it exists. But
Have
yes,
you ever seen it though?
I have seen the title in print. I
I,
have never seen the game.
oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna have to describe this in the best way that I can then, because wow. So this is obviously based on the movie, though. Movie of Street Fighter. this is going to get weird because I'm now going to start going very meta here.
Hmm.
This is based on the video game that's then based on the movie that's then, oh god. So they just, to put it in a long and short way, they decided to Mortal Kombat this.
Yes. Oh gosh.
So
Oh.
yeah, digitized sprites.
Yeah, I do. I did see a GIF of Jean-Claude Van Damme, so
It is really bad.
it is. It
Um,
is.
the funny thing is, I can't get this out without even laughing about it.
Oh gosh.
They
Oh,
put Akuma in the game, and Akuma is nowhere to be seen in the film.
oh gosh.
So they've
Oh
got the
dear.
literally most generic person possible to do it, and it looks so
Oh
stupid.
gosh. Oh gosh.
But they basically used all the actors kind of
Right.
for the game. They were kind of under contract to complete a game for this as well, but nobody
Right.
really wanted to after the
Yeah.
hell they had with putting the film together.
Oh
And
gosh.
imagine, trying to get Raul Julia to do all of
Oh
the
gosh.
Bison stuff when he was incredibly
Yeah.
ill.
Ugh.
But they, like I said, they Mortal Kombat it. It's digitized sprites and it handles like an absolute mess.
Oh
There
gosh.
was various amounts of glitches in the game, as you could imagine,
Yeah.
including probably two of the most famous. One of, and they both happen to include Jean-Claude Van Gaal. And yes, that's how I'm referring to him from now on.
Oh gosh.
So one of them was the infinite combo.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Guile had a move that obviously doesn't ever come up in any of the games.
Right.
Is handcuffs,
Oh gosh.
and they're in fact they both of these include are to do with the handcuffs.
Oh gosh.
So basically, it was like a grab move that would grab you and
Mm-hmm.
handcuff you and leave you motionless for about a second.
Right.
But the thing was that if you timed it right, you could create an infinite combo where the opponent could never get out of it.
Oh goodness.
So
Oh goodness.
you would hit them, handcuff them, hit them, handcuff, hit, handcuff, hit, yeah, until the
Oh
life bar
my
was gone.
gosh.
And the other one,
That's such a cheating move.
oh yeah, it was so broken that like I think
Yes.
Guile got banned.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah.
But there was also because of this one as well, also to do with the handcuffs, that if you did it in a certain way, that actually any time you moved, they'd be stuck to you.
Oh goodness.
So not only would you be able to infinite combo them, but you'd have them stuck to you as well.
Oh my goodness.
So they're never going to be out of range to ever drop the infinite combo.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Oh dear.
It's appalling. And funnily enough, a local video game shop in Croydon actually has the working arcade cabinet.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. That is so wild.
It's great. I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's such a bad game to play, but it's so funny as well.
Yeah.
Oh, leaves a
Oh,
bad taste in my mouth as well, though.
I have to. I'm gonna have to go YouTube it after this.
You have to,
I
because
just have to.
yeah, oh, it is funny to watch because it is a. I'll put it bluntly, it is a disgusting looking game. It's so
Oh my gosh.
like, ugh.
I wonder if the Game Grumps covered it.
They
To
probably
look it
did.
up.
It's quite a famous title, to be fair.
Oh gosh. Okay, now I've got, yeah, somebody out there will have it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta see this. But yes. Oh, that's insane. I can't understand the logic of recreating a game that already existed that was superior. It was already a superior model,
Yeah.
So I just don't, oh God.
Can I give you an explanation on that?
Sure.
Who made Street Fighter?
Capcom, right?
There's your answer.
Oh, right. Who am I kidding?
Look,
Of
I
course.
led you down that road for a reason,
did.
just to literally go. It's Capcom. There's no logic. They don't do
Of
anything
course.
logically.
Oh gosh. Yep.
Okay.
Oh my.
You have any that you think you should bring up?
Well, my main ones are I have a couple.
Okay.
Now I've said many times, and I will say many times, I'm not the biggest fan of Telltale games, um, which I know makes me a terrible human in some people's eyes.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't to me because I might understand why if you were to explain it. But I
Well,
think
it's kind of what I've said before, which is to me they're not games; they're more kind of visual novels.
I see. Okay, I thought you were going to go down the angle of the choices mean nothing.
Well, that's basically what I'm saying.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not games to me because there's not a lot of consequences,
Yeah.
but they have a huge following,
They do.
and a lot of people were very upset when they were closed down. But the two most well, God, they did.
They've done
Okay,
loads, but I think these are probably
they've
the most
done well.
prevalent.
For me, the very first Telltale game I ever saw was the Back to the Future one,
Oh dear.
and I actually like that one.
I've heard
Uh,
really appalling things about it, but I am a huge Back to the Future fan, so I'm not sure I'll like it.
well, I didn't think that I would like it at first, um, but the voice acting is done really well,
Okay.
surprisingly well,
Okay.
uh, and it is a series of just small little problem-solving type things.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so overall, for a Telltale game, it's I could put that in a light column.
Sure.
Now, by contrast,
Oh yeah,
there's
this is a real contrast.
yeah, well, there's two others. There's the Walking Dead, which is of course based on a television series, if you didn't know, called The Walking Dead.
Wrong,
Um,
wrong, wrong, wrong. I'm pulling you up there for your lack of comic knowledge.
well,
Graphic novel.
okay, yes, okay,
Get out.
yes. It was
You call your
originally a
you call
graphic
you
novel.
call yourself a nerd.
Uh-huh.
Who's gatekeeping
Not
now?
nerd. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I do encourage you guys. I mean, it's hard to find the originals, but there is trade paperbacks of the
Yeah.
Walking Dead comics, graphic novels.
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
Robert
I encourage
Kirkman,
you to
wasn't it?
check that. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
and it was really a case of, if I remember correctly, what I read was like the showrunner was just walking around, saw the comic in like a shop window or something and went, "Hey, let's do this." And he hadn't even quite read it or
Oh my
anything.
goodness.
It was very like, "I just like this." Yeah,
Oh dear.
exactly.
Oh dear.
Um, which might explain a little bit of the uh, how the series evolved. Um,
You mean became terrible?
I didn't want to say that. uh, but another Telltale movie that became game. Well, Telltale produced
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
They did. Really?
They did a Telltale
Oh
version.
my goodness!
It
I didn't
was
even know that.
terrible. I actually forgot about it until I was thinking about
Okay.
that.
Cool.
It was terrible. Of course, I'm sure there's plenty out there who disagree with me, but the voice acting is terrible. The choices are terrible. The you know, endings are awful. It's just awful.
Yeah.
That probably started my dislike of Telltale, actually, if I'm
Okay.
honest.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'll bring another one up now that we're talking about Telltale because I'd completely forgotten about it until we got to this point.
Right?
Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I've never played that or
It's
looked at it or
it,
anything.
it's awful. I played the
I,
first chapter and I hated it.
oh gosh. Did you like the movie?
Oh, I love the movie.
Okay. Yes, I did as well.
That's exactly the
Um,
reason why I hated it because these characters
yeah.
were so off. It was weird. But
Yeah.
then again, I do have
Um,
knowledge of the Guardians from the comics as well.
right, of course. Which was always strange to me because I had read the comics, of course,
Mm.
years before. And then when they're like, "Oh, we're making a movie," and then the characters that they said were in the movie confused me greatly. I was like,
Oh yeah,
"Wait,
yeah, because they're not the original Guardians, are
no,
they?
no, it's different eras all mixed together, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But
Yeah, I mean, but I quite like the take that they went with it for
oh,
it
I did,
because
yeah.
it's, young fledgling team. Because imagine having all the
Yeah.
Celestials as the Guardians. No
Exactly,
thanks.
exactly. No. But
And
and
yeah,
of course I love James Gunn. I've said that. I said that last week, I think.
yeah, we did mention
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But uh but anyway, yeah, so for Telltale games, I just
Mm,
now.
okay,
Now.
Tales from the
I didn't like
Borderlands
them.
is still their best.
Yeah.
You don't even like that though, do you?
I don't. I don't.
Even though it fleshed out lore and everything like
Even
that.
though it fleshed out lore.
I'm surprised. I'm so surprised.
No, I didn't like the direction they took Handsome Jack. I just no.
Oh, I loved it. I thought him being really comedic was really funny and
Well,
really great.
yeah, but it's like I don't know. It just took his dynamicism away from the sequels in my mind. Again, in
Okay.
my
All
what is it,
right.
head canon? Yes, in my head canon.
Yeah, fine. I mean, the thing was, I'd barely played Borderlands at that point, so I didn't know
Right,
really
right.
much about Handsome Jack or about anyone, really. So for me, it was
Probably
like
more.
going in fresh, and it was, I
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah, yeah. That okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It
I
did.
could see that
It did lead
absolutely.
for me to go. It led me into buying Borderlands 1 and 2, to be fair, for the PS3.
There you go.
So
Um,
it worked.
yeah. I'll tell
Okay.
you another one that I actually remembered right quick.
Sure.
It's not a Telltale game, but and you cannot. It's delisted. You can't get it,
Oh.
and you wouldn't want to. But if you're out there and you're looking for a funny Let's Play,
Mm.
and this is old, old, old. When I bring up this name, it is a GameSpot Let's Play,
Ooh.
but we're talking a decade ago.
Oh, what,
Yeah.
when they were good still?
Yes, exactly. And it is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
Um,
what?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
That, and then of course Kevin did a Desperate Housewives on Call Me Kevin.
Oh no.
They are both the worst. The worst. The graphics are terrible. The gameplay, because look, I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm absolutely sure that they thought they were, quote, making a girl game.
Yeah.
Because most of the viewers of Grey's Anatomy and Desperate Housewives, two shows I've never seen, by the way, have a heavily female audience.
Two shows
Um,
that my mum has watched a lot
well,
of,
there you go.
which proves
My
the
mom
point.
My mom loved Desperate Housewives, which is why I did not watch it.
My
So,
mum is still watching season 15 of Grey's Anatomy. It just will not
oh my
stop.
gosh, I can't watch that show. I just have never. No, it's just not for me. Everyone's different taste.
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough.
but so these games are games. Use that loosely. Are made, for what they assume a female gamer is.
Mm,
They're almost Grey's Anatomy is almost childlike.
sure.
It's like matching games and which thing is different and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But weirdly, if you go look at clips, I actually think the cutscenes, the graphics
Yep.
are actually well done. But not anybody else really shares that with me, that belief. So that
Sure.
might just be a pure Kylie opinion.
Okay.
Um, but oh my gosh, yeah, no, that's some terrible games.
Fine.
Ugh.
Fine. I'll bring up two more TV show related ones then that were.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I think was pretty exclusive over here,
Mm-hmm.
and it will make sense why. But the first one was Friends. There was a video game of Friends, and it was truly disgustingly bad.
I can't even. I can't even. I can't even.
I might wind Jennifer up by saying this, but Friends is
Yeah.
terrible.
Yes, we have stated we do not like it.
No.
I'm
So
sorry,
me
Jen.
playing a game of Friends was just definitely not on my radar
Oh
at
my
all.
gosh. Just a very quick run through. Was it like a quiz thing? Was it like a game
I
show? Was it like a Sims? What was it?
I'm gonna be honest, I never played it. I've only seen
Oh,
screenshots of it.
oh my gosh. I can't
Oh
even.
no, no, no.
So what was the other one?
Little Britain.
Which is insane to me. Okay. So, American audience. There is a hilarious. Okay, it's hilarious to me.
Hilarious. It was
Okay,
hilarious at the time.
okay, I haven't seen it since its very begin, like when it came out.
Yeah.
We had it on BBC America. My mom and I freaking loved it. My mom loved it more than I did. Her favorite character being the Vicky one, the one that's in like the pink jumpsuit
Yeah,
with the blonde
it's
hair.
probably one of the very few
But no
characters that
buck.
was actually still funny.
Yeah, my mom loved her.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, she loved Matt. What's his name?
Matt Lucas.
Yeah. So this was a variety sketch comedy type thing. Well, I guess it
Yeah.
was more sketch
It
comedy.
was sketch comedy.
Yeah, and very British humor.
Mm.
And I loved it. But I cannot imagine what on earth kind of game it would be.
Well, I tell you what kind of game it was.
Mm-hmm.
Computer says no.
Yeah, if you don't know,
Yes.
that's one of the lines. Yep. Computer says no.
How have I managed to get an actual reference into that? I don't know.
I have no idea because I was racking my brain and I couldn't come up with anything. So
I think that
sitting here
shows how much I watched it back in the day.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about some good games now?
Well, I want to mention one.
Okay.
Well, I do think it was actually good. I don't know. This might be nostalgia.
Sure.
Glasses. But when I was itty bitty, because I think this was on a PC.
Ooh,
Oof.
going back a fair while then.
Yeah, I'd have to have been very itty bitty. A Simpsons cartoon maker.
Oh wow, yeah, that is going back a fair while, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted that so bad. I got to play it for like 5 minutes at somebody's house. My mom thought that The Simpsons were the devil, so that was banned in my house until I was 16.
Of course, because they crack
sneaking.
wise about religion all the time.
Yep, and her reason, oh gosh, her reason was because that kid, talking about Bart, he talks back to his parents so bad, Kylie.
Oh, really?
Now, I started watching it when I was about 16, secretly watching it.
Yep.
I left home, and then when I came back home, which would be early 20s or whatever, for visits, she had started watching it. She's like, I don't know why I watched this stupid show. Everyone's stupid on it.
Well, that's
just like, oh my gosh.
That's completely different to how it was in my house then. Because in my house it was watched regularly and my mum absolutely despised it to the point where I've been watching it on Disney Plus. She's like, you've seen these 1,000 times, why are you watching this again? I was like, because it's still funny. Why else?
Oh gosh. Oh man. Okay, it was called Simpsons Cartoon Studio. Oh my gosh. I want to see when this came out. How old am I? 1996, my friends.
Well, that's not even like the earliest game, because obviously you had, Bart versus the Space Mutants, or the Simpsons arcade game, and we're not going to delve too much into that because they're obvious.
Oh yeah, but I was so excited because they looked so much like the characters.
Yeah, they did.
Man,
I mean, but what about Bart versus the Space Mutants?
Those were terrible.
That amazing sound clip of Bart saying, "Eat my shorts."
Yes.
That's probably the only good thing about the game.
Yeah, I spent lots of quarters on that at an arcade when I was
the arcade game was horribly hard.
It was very hard, and I had spent my allotment on that game alone.
It's also incredibly sexist by giving Marge her weapon as a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. It's not that sexist. She's a homemaker.
Well, I was going to say, that is her thing, and she does ride a vacuum in the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
She does.
So it's not
I know.
beyond the realm.
I was being silly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, so enough with my stupid prattlings. Let's continue on to good games.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I've got two here that are very, for me, very personal loves because of my love of the film itself. Or films.
Yes.
A trilogy. There were more, but they don't exist. The first one is a PS1 classic called Die Hard Trilogy. Oh boy. Yeah, did you play Die Hard Trilogy?
Yeah, that's why I've been quiet since you said they were good games.
How dare you?
I didn't want to say it, but
How dare you? Okay, admittedly, Die Hard with a Vengeance was the worst
oh,
one.
oh god,
Admittedly,
yes,
like
yes,
that was convoluted, complex, drive like an
yes,
absolute truck, and
yep.
it was just ludicrous. But the
Yeah.
light gun game, Die Hard 2, was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that was the one I was thinking of when we were talking earlier.
Yeah,
And I did enjoy that. Yes, I
yeah,
did. I like shooting games.
that is outstanding. It's like I've always loved like light gun games, like
Hmm.
Time Crisis in the arcades.
Yeah.
This obviously this Lethal Enforcers being one of my very early examples of a light gun game. Also,
Right,
Point
right.
Blank as well. Point Blank is amazing.
Oh,
Go and play Point Blank.
yeah. Yes, yes. Wow, I completely forgot about that till you said it.
Yeah, Point Blank's
Yes,
amazing. Played
it is
the
very
original
amazing.
arcade version as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very
Um,
good.
yeah, I mean, Die Hard One was the Nakatomi Plaza and walking around in there. It does control pretty badly, but it is
Yeah,
kind of a fun game in that respect. At least it's interesting, more so
it's
than
a
Die
game.
Hard with a Vengeance.
Yes.
But yeah, for me it was always about Die Hard 2 because I always preferred Die Hard 2 because I watched it first. But
Mm-hmm.
I did always like light gun games as well.
Yeah.
So, but the other one that I wanted to mention in the same universe, most know it by a different name because of the retail release of it, which you did
Mm-hmm.
as well because we spoke off air
Yeah.
about it and you went, "What is this game?" And
What?
I told you the other name for it and you went,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, that one." Uh,
Yeah.
released on the either the Saturn or the Dreamcast as Dynamite Cop
Yeah.
was Die Hard
Yeah.
Arcade.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
crazy because which is why I got the second part, the light gun
yeah,
Die Hard game confused because I thought that was it, but no, it's
yeah.
yeah, I knew it as Dynamite Cop.
Yeah,
So.
it's just a brawler, isn't it? It's just an
Hmm.
arcade brawler that
Yep.
has some really weird. What would you call them? What do they call them nowadays? What's the practice that they put in games? Oh, it's not CQC. It's quick time events.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, where you're
Yeah.
running down the hallway and it'll flash up which way you needed to go.
Yeah, I
I can,
hate that.
I know,
I've
I can
said that.
still remember that sound effect. Like it's clear
Oh.
as anything.
Hmm.
I always loved it though, because if you did go the right way, you would always punch someone in the face, and it was always so satisfying to see it. Like, because it would
Yeah.
show it about 3 or 4 times from different angles, and it was awesome.
Yes.
To be fair,
Oh, that's too funny. And that is so weird though, like why it was released like that. I mean, especially like I'm looking at the Japanese cover art for it.
hmm
It's so clearly Bruce Willis.
yeah, it was a licensing issue, I think. Like
It
they
had
had the
to be, yeah.
license for the arcade version, but not for the home console version,
Yeah.
because
Okay, so here's a weird thing, I'll just say.
yeah.
The Japanese version, which was called Dynamite Deca,
Oh yeah, I
clearly,
forgot it was called Dynamite Decker.
yeah, it's clearly Bruce Willis on the cover.
Yeah,
But Die Hard Arcade 3, I don't know why it has a 3 on there. It's
yeah,
clearly just Die Hard Arcade. Oh, I guess that's just the graphic I happen to be on. Anyway,
yeah.
Die Hard Arcade clearly is a guy that is not Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
So
I always
that is
remembered that
like
as well. It's so weird.
so weird. So weird.
And if I'm thinking rightly, I'm pretty sure it was on the Saturn because I can remember
Yes, it
the
was.
big cases for them.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sega Saturn. See, I still remember
Oh
that.
God, so you're probably one of the very few people who did own a Sega Saturn then.
I did. I did. Yeah. Yeah. That's just there was no one else. I
Bit
didn't
of an
know anyone
underrated
that
console,
did.
to be honest with you. It's
Uh,
great.
If I'm honest, yes, it was underrated. It had long load times, 100%.
Well, so did the
But I
PS1.
mean, well, exactly. And I thought the graphics were great. Of
Yeah.
course, the music quality was way good.
Well,
So
unless
I
we're
don't
talking about Sonic R.
know.
That
No,
was
no, no.
awful. That was awful.
Oh gosh.
Everybody Super Sonic Racing.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
Why do I
yes.
still
Oh
remember it?
gosh, I still can't believe that. I cannot believe that.
God.
But yeah, I had a Dreamcast and a Sega Saturn,
Who get you?
and Dreamcast was amazing. I used to play Nights into Dreams, and it was like, oh,
I mean, I've always wanted to play Nights into Dreams. I never got around
ah,
to it, but
oh
uh,
gosh,
I'll
yeah,
talk to you about it after the pod because I don't want to
yeah,
mention
yeah, because
something
that's
to do with
not
it.
a movie. So.
No, it's because of something to do with what I want to pick up to play it. It
Oh
is.
right,
So I'll
right.
talk to you about it
Okay,
afterwards.
okay. Yep,
No.
yep, yep.
But
But yes, moving on as
yes,
we
I put
to.
I put one on this list
Mhm.
that was particularly a fond favourite for you. I don't know about the game,
Right,
but I know about the property.
right.
X-Men: Children of the Atom.
Ah, yes. Yes. Uh,
Oh
okay.
dear, I'm worried about this now.
A lot of people love uh, Children of the Atom.
Mm.
Now, of course, this came out. The to be fair, X-Men Clone Wars and X-Men Children of the Atom, and the no, that is Children of the Atom. Anyway,
Yeah,
they're more based on the television
yeah, the
X-Men.
Jin Lee
Yes,
cartoon.
yes. So they, of course, were like right on my radar as soon as they came out.
Yeah.
I love the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
I love the gameplay. I love the graphic style. I love all of it. The music, the sounds. Oh,
Sure.
good old Sega. Oh, but uh, Children of the Atom, it went down in quality, which is weird. But they
Mm.
did a more animated style.
Yeah.
Uh, and for me personally, I didn't like it as well. But it is an enduring classic for people who play X-Men games.
And not even
Uh,
just that, but anyone who turned out to be a big fighting game fan,
yes.
developed by Capcom, started the
Yes.
movement to getting the X-Men and the Capcom, well, the Marvel properties into a
Yeah.
fighting game, which is why we still have the amazingness of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
Infinite doesn't exist. And
Yes.
moving on.
I do remember how excited I was when
Mm.
the X-Men came out in a fighting game. Now, this is
So
when,
good.
yeah, and I was terrible at fighting games. The only fighting game I liked was Mortal Kombat. I mean, I liked Street Fighter, but I played it with the turbo on, so
Oh,
I
of course you
just
did.
Chun-Li's turbo leg on everyone.
Yeah, you
Um,
could do that. It's also so that you could just mash the hell out of crouching lights.
yeah, well, I didn't even have to mash it because
Yeah, well, you just press it once, that's it.
exactly. Oh God, yeah, that was fun. But I will never forget though the feeling of the first time I saw the Marvel versus Capcom or whatever it was on an arcade machine.
It would have been Marvel vs. Capcom was not the first. It would have been
Mhm.
Marvel Superheroes as the first
Oh
true
yeah,
Capcom fighting game that included the Marvel properties.
yes. I it might have been called something here, but it was definitely Marvel versus Street Fighter.
We had
Um,
X-Men versus Street Fighter after that.
okay, okay. Well, that's the one that I saw in an arcade cabinet, and you
Yeah,
could see like Magneto and his cape was like blowing in the wind or
yeah,
whatever,
that was
but I
so
just,
cool.
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, and Storm was so amazing, and oh my gosh,
Mm,
yeah. So I remember that feeling. It was just,
yeah,
oh,
I mean, I got
yeah,
my start on that with Marvel Superheroes, and that's where my love of Shumagorath came from because he was my
right.
character in that game.
Well, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah,
You know what I thought you were gonna say
go on.
earlier when you were like, "Oh, I have a game or whatever."
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Sorry, what?
Deadpool.
Sorry, what?
Yep, Deadpool the game.
Sorry, what?
And I'm not gonna lie, I feel about the same as you do.
Yeah, because it, for want of a better word, it's crap.
It is. It is. It is not a great
The only
game.
good
It is
thing
not
about it
good.
is Nolan North doing the voice of Deadpool. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Yep. And I think that's what they brought him back to be Deadpool's voice in like the when he was added to the roster, the fighting Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Deadpool came out after. I'm pretty sure it did. So I'm gonna have to find out about that one. So
Yeah.
I'll check afterwards.
Yeah. Because he voiced Deadpool in two different things.
Yeah,
But yes, it's a terrible game, guys.
yeah. I think I think there's a funny joke at the beginning of it where he's checking his voicemail messages and it's just a voicemail
Yes,
from himself, and
yes,
that's
yes.
that is quite funny to be fair.
Yeah, that's good. And it made for some really cool GIFs that I use as reaction shots, but
Yeah,
but as a game, no. Um, but any more because we probably should wrap up soon. But
yeah, we've got a couple on here that we can bring
okay.
up. We already mentioned Chronicles of Riddick that was on the
Yes. Yeah.
PS2 and Xbox, and believe the GameCube. We mentioned that last week.
Uh-huh.
What else is there? So we'd go amiss without mentioning ET, the most famous example.
Yes.
So we're
Yeah.
not going to talk too much
Absolutely.
about it because everyone has.
Yeah, you can go see plenty of documentaries on YouTube
Sure,
about it.
but I
They.
actually, yeah, go on.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna do a quick little sum up that it was for the Atari. It was when gaming was home gaming was right brand new, and they just threw money at this guy, and he had what like 6 weeks, I think. He
Yeah,
wrote the entire game, and the game has nothing to do with the movie. It's awful, and
mm,
I own a copy. So
of course you do because you
yeah,
love terrible stuff.
I do. I really do.
That's fair. But I wanted to mention two games
Sure.
from the same property or
Hmm.
properties. That might give you a small hint.
Yeah.
Both movie properties from Fox that
Hmm.
actually these games actually led to them making a movie together.
Ah,
The
yes.
classic Sierra produced
So weird.
Aliens versus Predator on
Yeah.
PC and
Yes.
Aliens versus Predator, the scroll and beat 'em up by Capcom for the arcade.
Yeah. Good old AVP.
Yeah.
So that's a very strange, interesting story, AVP, because it was a game first,
Yeah.
and then they did like a graphic novel and a movie release because the game was so popular.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out, wasn't as popular as they thought it was going to be. And but then they did AVP 2, which wasn't that even a bigger hit?
Yes. The AVP2 on the PC was huge.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then they made another movie that was not as good.
Yeah, but these came a long time after the fact that these games had already come out. You
Yes,
know,
yeah.
AVP, the film, came out in 2004,
Hmm.
and by this point, AVP2, the PC game, had been out probably for about 4 years, roughly.
Wow. Yeah, people were crazy about it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's a lot because I remember uh, that would be when my I was reading lots of comic books, and a lot of the ads in the comic books were, about AVP coming to,
Oh.
as a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bring this back
Hmm.
for you. You were
Hmm.
absolutely right. Nolan the North did do the voice of Deadpool in
Ah!
Marvel 3.
That's what I thought. I thought
That's
so.
fair play, fair play. Yeah.
That's my old special interest of voice actors coming back.
I didn't know. I
Uh,
really didn't. It just not recognizable between the two games.
no, it's not. It's a different style. It's
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
very strange. But anyway, we will
But
move rapidly, haha,
mhm.
away from
Ah,
this because for the first time in weeks, we got questions.
we do. We have wonderful listener questions from a wonderful listener.
Listener slash guest slash
Yeah,
has been on here before.
correspondent, yeah, panel member,
Yeah,
eternal panel
yeah.
member.
These come from us, as you probably have guessed, Jennifer
Yeah.
at lady underscore sugarcube on Twitter.
Woohoo!
So I'll go with this one first. You'll take the second one.
Okay.
So picking up the conversation about Ghost of Tsushima. Uh, 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 uh,
Hmm?
oh god, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
correct
we
something
talked
here.
about it.
Ghost
Oh,
of Tsushima. No, it's not. It's Ghost of Tsushima. It's
I'm gonna
weird.
take your word for it.
Yeah, the developers actually did mention it in their state of play. They called it Tsushima. So
Because
I flip flopped last week a couple of times and should have stuck to it.
right. Well, because I can't pronounce anything, even English words, I keep calling it Ghost of Sushi. Because it just sounds like a game about dead fish, you know?
Oh, the ghost of fish. Brilliant.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, yeah,
thanks for that.
continue.
So, picking up the conversation about Ghost of Tsushima,
Yes.
which game would you like to see in black and white or other interesting modes? So this is in reference to the black and white cinema mode that they have from Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
which is amazing, or it looks
Which
amazing at least.
the first time I personally had ever seen that mechanic in any media was Logan, the DVD release.
Yeah,
So I love that mechanic.
it was also the same in Mad Max Fury Road, the black and chrome
That's
version.
right. That's right. Yeah. Which okay, so between the two of them, and then I'll move on. But Logan looked amazing in black and white. Um, Fury Road looks amazing, but it needs to be in color. Oh,
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
I've
I
only
love Fury
just
Road.
watched Fury Road about a month ago, and I watched the
Right?
color version, and it's astounding. Like,
It's beautiful, and those are all practical effects,
yeah,
not computer.
I
Oh,
mean George Miller's fantastic for that sort of thing, though.
oh,
Like,
yeah. Don't
I,
get me started.
I mean, I have criticisms of Mad Max 2, but that's because it's from an age gone by, and
Yeah.
filmmaking techniques were very different back then. Like, my issue
Mhm.
with it is that some of the audio is pretty appalling at times,
Right.
but the film
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Ah, yeah. Oh god, I'm gonna have a Mad Max marathon soon. Um,
Well, does that also include playing the Mad Max game that came out not
no.
too long
Well,
ago?
to be fair, I actually don't hate the newer that one that came out with the movie.
Okay,
To take it back to our topic. It's not great, but it's not that bad. You
okay.
know.
I
Oh,
heard
cool.
good things.
Meh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as far as seeing a game in black and white or other interesting modes. I love this idea, and to be fair, I mean, one of my favorite narrative-driven games is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Damn it!
I... Were you gonna say that one?
Literally the exact same thing. Imagine an amazing western
Yes.
in black and white, like
Yep.
an old spaghetti
Yep.
western. Oh my!
Yep. Or yeah, or just really desaturated colors like the spaghetti westerns were. That's yeah, exactly.
Mm, can't believe that.
Uh-huh. That's the yeah,
I should
yeah,
have
yeah.
known it's you.
I was
You would
gonna
have brought
say.
Red Dead up. Of course you would have done.
Course. Of
Mm,
course. Well,
I'm
outside of that, what did you have any? Batman, Arkham Asylum. That would be interesting.
I don't think so, because I actually think that the color scale they use, mostly grey and dingy colors
Yeah.
in Arkham Asylum, work perfectly.
Yeah.
Um, you spend most of the game in detective mode anyway, so that was blue
Yes.
filter, so didn't
Yeah.
need that. That's the only criticism I have of that game, unfortunately, is that you played most of the game in detective mode.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction here, because I'm going to bring up a love of a particular film in a minute. I think I might have mentioned it before actually, but I would love, and I mean love, for them to remake, like, if they were to make PT, it would be great. But imagine a crazy psychological horror film in black and white,
Oof.
much like
Ooh.
Psycho.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ah. And
Oh,
then do it from like like
that'd
a
be
first person
yeah,
mode.
that'd be
Oh my
George.
gosh, yes.
Resident Evil 7 in black and white.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness, that'd be great.
Oh wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think from here on out, the new mechanic should be the option to have games in other colors, other themes, or whatever. Color schemes?
Yeah,
Whatever.
but
Because, like,
actually, you
Wes
know,
Anderson's color schemes are good. I
oh,
like them.
they're mad. I'd love to see a Mad Cat Wes Anderson game. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, with Bill Murray starring.
Well, it
Um,
would have to be. He's the only one that stays true throughout the whole thing, apart from
yeah,
what's his name? I can't remember his name. I mean, Luke Wilson appears a lot in them, but it's
yeah, he's a lot. He's
Jason
in there a
Schwartz.
lot.
That's the one,
Ah, yes,
or Jason
exactly,
Schwartzman,
exactly.
or whatever you pronounce it.
Uh, I think he's Schwartz. No,
Okay.
that's Ben Schwartz. No, so
Uh,
it is Schwartzman. Okay.
doesn't matter. It brings it back to Scott Pilgrim versus the World because he was
Oh,
Gideon in
yes,
that.
that's right. Oh gosh,
But
that's
yeah,
yeah.
the one thing I was going to mention with that is actually they went in a completely opposite direction with a couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
With the absolute madcap neon colours with Double Dragon Neon and Far Cry
Oh
Blood Dragon.
yeah, yeah. As soon as you said that, I thought of Far Cry Dragon. It's the weirdest looking game. They were going for an '80s vibe, and it does.
Yeah.
They totally do it.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
and if I remember correctly, the guy that voices the protagonist is a character actor from the '80s that
He
I
might be.
recognize.
He might be.
And
I'd have to look that up. Was
yeah,
that
it's been a few years,
for
but
Far Cry Blood Dragon, did you say?
Blood Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me have a
Uh,
look.
yeah, because he was in some kind of B type movies in the
Yeah.
'80s, so I recognized him. And then, because again, that's special interest being voice actors. Um, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a kind of subtle nod, you know?
Hmm.
But it is pure neon colors. It is the weirdest, coolest,
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
Do you mean Michael Biehn, or
Yes.
uh, who was uh, who was Kyle Reese in the Terminator?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It was like a very subtle nod to the '80s movies.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's a cool game. I actually kind of like it. I was gonna be like, but no, I do kind of like it. As long
No,
as if you don't go in expecting a Far Cry game.
no. It's not a Far Cry game
Yeah.
at all. It's more of an
Yep.
arcadey shooter.
Yes.
It's
Which is why I liked it because I
bloody
don't really
fun
like
though.
Far Cry games.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
liked a Far Cry game since 2 on the PC.
I didn't like two at all. The respawning. No.
That was the only thing that disappointed me about that, but I did play a lot of it LAN, which was quite fun.
Oh, right. Yeah. But
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any others that could benefit from a black and white. I think we covered it pretty well, don't you?
yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Okay, so what are your feelings on those crafty style Nintendo's approaching to and including them in their titles? For example, the polymer clay style in the remake of Link's Awakening, including DIY in Animals Crossing, and
Ugh.
Kirby's Epic Yarn / Yoshi's Woolly World.
But she also didn't include one particular game in there, did she? And she couldn't help but mention Animal Crossing.
Yep.
But she also, the crafting style she forgot to mention was also Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But
it might have been called something different, but
but I'm gonna go out here and say I absolutely love the aesthetic of Woolly World, even to the point that I have my Woolly Yoshi amiibo.
aw,
I
that
love
is
it. I think
cute.
it's fantastic.
I have to admit, Kirby's Epic Yarn. I did not think that I would like that style.
It's great.
I love it.
It's
Yeah,
so much
yeah,
fun.
it is. It's very like wholesome.
Yeah. Well,
I
that
just like it.
those developers actually worked on Woolly World. That was the game that they
Oh
did
right, okay. Well,
after Epic Yarn.
that makes sense. That
Mm.
makes sense. Um, I like it. Yeah, I like it. I mean, the polymer clay style has been around for a long time. Clay
It has been.
fighters being one of the main ones.
Wow, that's a throwback to the fighting games episode.
Yeah, it is. Um, But I remember the reason why I remember that one particularly well was because my friends had it on like Super Nintendo or whatever, and I had just got my very, very, very first computer.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play games on it, obviously, but I was so young and not really knowing much about computers, which is weird now looking back. But I didn't know that you needed to have something called Direct 3D, DirectX, and all of these things.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't have any 3D hardware.
no.
I mean, I obviously I would download DirectX, but I mean, as far as actually having hardware, I didn't have it, so I could never play Clay Fighters or any game based on that on the PC, and
No.
that's why that sticks out so much to me. Um, but I loved the style then. I do like it, and
Yeah.
uh, in fact, there was a game on in the iOS on the iPad. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a runner. You are a little ball of clay, uh, going through like I'm just gonna say maze for lack of a better word. But it's an automatic runner, so it's just constantly going. And they actually filmed all of those. They made the models and filmed them. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
And I just think that's so cool. I really do.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are your feelings on these crafted styles? I love them. I think they're great. They're very unique. I mean,
Yeah.
we mentioned obviously with the news last week about Paper Mario and how different
Yes.
they go with their aesthetic. You know, Paper Mario has always had that aesthetic, but they've always tried something different at the same time as well. So Super
Right.
Paper Mario was obviously paper in a 3D, 2D and 3D environment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what came after that game because it doesn't exist. But then
Yes.
obviously Color Splash, they tried, including painting aspects with it, and this one is obviously origami, and you know
Mm-hmm.
they are always trying
Yeah.
something different with it, and I like that. I don't like games that all look the same because you
Right.
find that a lot of games across the Xbox and the PlayStation do tend to have
Yes.
very similar aesthetics of what they're going for. You know,
Yep.
quite ultra realistic and all that sort of thing. I can
Yes.
get that, for the longest time we didn't have ultra
Yeah.
realistic depictions of people and all that sort of thing, so
Exactly.
they're going for that aesthetic now. But I do like a game to sort of stand on its own merits and look
Mhm.
unique.
Yes.
Which is why obviously we mentioned about Far Cry Blood Dragon in the last bit.
Mhm.
That's why it stood out because the
Yeah.
80s neon and stuff like that is really
Yeah.
appealing in that respect. But
Exactly.
I think Nintendo should approach it a little bit more and try to stand out a little bit more in in the way that they do things. I think they do, but
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a few more games with this sort of. I'd like to see like a new game in the woolly
Yeah.
aesthetic because I think
Absolutely.
a couple of properties could work really well from it.
Hmm.
I'm struggling to think any that would work offhand right now, but
Yeah. Tetris. No. Uh,
no. Nah. Tetris can stay as it
that would
is.
be
It's fine.
hilarious. Yeah, it makes me think of like how people used to reskin Tetris, like on
Yeah.
PCs during the shareware days, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Just trying to.
acid Tetris being my favorite. But
Yeah, but we get them all now from the Tetris company anyway, with like
that's
Tetris Effect and
yes, that's
Tetris
right.
99.
Yeah,
Oh god, I can't even think of any more.
yeah, but yeah,
There's so many
uh,
Tetris games.
it really is.
Um, Let me think. Imagine a Metroid in a woolly style. That'd be weird. How weird would that
That
be,
would be
right?
weird.
Super dark game in this really
Yeah.
colourful aesthetic.
Oh goodness, they should have that as like a side mode. Oh, you know what they should do? Oh my gosh, they should have a game,
Hmm.
not just Nintendo, anyone, and like you have your regular game that they release, blah blah blah, but you have a mode where you can play the pop vinyl version. Yeah, I like pop vinyls.
So that's episode 32, and the end of this podcast forever. I kid. No, you're allowed to like
I
pop
know.
vinyl, but they suck. Um,
I love them, but I don't love some of the newer ones because they all look the same.
they
But
are all
the
the
early
same.
ones, I have. I'll have you know, I have a blonde bombshell group. That's what I call them, and they all have sort of differing characteristics.
Sort of.
Yes. Some of them have yellow hair, and some of them have dark yellow hair.
But facially, they all look roughly the same.
Well, Brienne of Tarth, her eyelashes are on the top corners, and Starbucks eyelashes are in the middle. So
You're not helping sell this at all.
yeah.
I'm really struggling with this question. It's a great one, but I'm trying to
It
think of
is
any
good.
games that actually they could use that style or whatever style they think. But I mean, I'd be wrong to to not mention a Mario game in that style.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But we already that's the thing though. We've already got it with Paper Mario, so I don't feel like it's needed.
I'd like to see a clay version of like Mario, or maybe Mario 2, where they're in the
Oh,
dream. Yeah.
Mario Kart stop motion.
Oh, wow. Yes. That would be very cool. Like, was it McDonald's that used to have the Happy Meal toys of Mario
Yeah,
Kart?
yeah, I'm sure.
Something like that would be very cool. But yeah, stop motion. But that would be very cool.
Yeah,
I'd totally be into that.
yeah. Or I don't know. I was trying to think of something really obscure there, but it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
How,
Well,
how about Bayonetta? Bayonetta in polymer clay.
actually, I think Bayonetta would work better in yarn just because of the hair.
Yeah, that would be good actually.
Yep.
Just,
All right.
just Nintendo do not condone that nudity.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I think that's going to cover it.
Yeah, that winds us down. We went a little bit over, but not too badly. But the first half, it needed to be
Yeah,
discussed. And we are, as always, so thankful for you guys stopping by and giving us a listen. We don't advertise, we don't do any of that. So the only way we can make it is through word of mouth.
yep.
And it looks like some of you are spreading the good news because we're getting more plays throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, genuinely from the bottom of our hearts. And so anytime you give us a like, a retweet, or a comment or whatever, it is so appreciated. Because okay, Pete more than me, work a lot behind the scenes.
You do your fair bit as well.
That's a
No,
little bit.
you
But
keep up with the news stories. Otherwise, it would be
yeah,
me trying to explain it all to you, and that'd be
well,
hard.
I guess that's true. Okay, that's true. I save you a little time there, but
Yeah.
we appreciate that. If you're welcome to give us feedback, story ideas, things you'd like to hear on the show, people you'd like for us to interview, and if you want to drop us any of those sorts of things, you can either find us at the website www.rapidreviewsuk.com.
Mhm.
We are also on Twitter under Rapid Reviews UK, at Rapid Reviews UK, or our own personal one, which is at RR Radiopod.
Yeah, you got it right this time.
I know that was tough. Uh, there is a Facebook page, just Rapid Reviews UK, and we have a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/RR Radiopod.
Yep.
And you can drop us a line if you want to at podcast@rapidreviewsuk.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just want to check out what Pete's doing, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me many places. The street,
Yep.
my house, work.
Yeah.
But if you wanted specifically on the internet, you can find me at Pete Beckett 1, where over the last day, the Final Fantasy VII Afterthoughts review came out, so you should definitely go and check that out.
Yeah.
The 20-minute behemoth.
Yeah, I meant to drop a note of that. That is an amazing review. It is a collab in a very interesting new style.
Yeah. It was,
and I think it's great.
It was a very interesting project between myself, Mike, which is at 2D Mike 3D on Twitter, regular correspondent usually, and also another one of our writers called Mark McConville. So
Yeah.
he wrote the main review, and me and Mike wrote the afterthoughts based on his review.
Yeah. Just a really cool take on it.
Yeah,
It's enjoyable. Go give it
yeah.
a read.
But that's not
Yeah.
to discourage or discredit anyone else that has come out with any reviews this
Oh,
week,
yeah. I know.
including Ellis and a few others like Toby, who've put out a
Yeah.
few good reviews this week.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot of reviews happening.
Yeah.
It really is cool. I mean, I've said this before, but it's always good to kind of reiterate. We are constantly reviewing games,
Always.
um, and we've got such a large like pool from indies to triple A's to just
Yeah.
anything, just about anything you can think of is there. Just go search it, and of
Yep.
course the reading time is listed as well, which I
Yeah.
love.
I love the
So.
reading time on
Mhm.
there. So when I looked at that and went 20 minutes, what? Oh wait, I've already read this before, but I want to read it again because I'm obviously a nihilist.
Absolutely. But it's a good read. It's worth it.
Yeah. But anyway, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, if you want to find me twittering about autism, I blanked out, couldn't even think of it. As I struggle to come to terms with it, you can find me at Kiley to Greet, which is KILEYTEHGREET, on Twitter, and just join in the conversation. Always feel free to ask me anything. One of my favorite things to do is to kind of bridge the gap or almost be a translator between autistic point of view and what we would call neurotypical point of view.
Or NT for short.
NT
Which is
for
what
short.
I am.
Yes. And it always helps to keep that dialogue open because it's just really interesting to see how autistics versus NTs process things and come to different conclusions. And then once you know the other side, you go, oh, right, okay, that's why you said that. That's why you did this. That's why,
That's why I know that Kylie is such a pain when it comes to putting questions up. Pulls me up on Twitter about my habits of being nice and sending a game, but didn't even think about, I forgot to put the questions up.
I did forget. I forgot. It's so funny. But it's because I put it up last week and nobody responded, so we need you guys to respond.
Yeah, but Jennifer did. Jennifer did.
Oh, absolutely, Jen did. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, I think that almost wraps it up.
Yeah,
We've
close.
got one last bit. Yeah. So, Pete, hit us with a game fact.
Okay, this is probably one you know, but I don't care, because it relates to a property that you absolutely love.
Okay.
Did you know that the satisfying ding that rings out when a Fat Man nuke is launched in Fallout 3 is the lunch bell from Bethesda Softworks cafeteria?
What? That's awesome. I did not know that.
Wow!
Oh,
What? I'm
great.
so surprised.
Yep, I know. That is amazing. Well, thanks for joining us, and we love it when you stop by, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.